associates gather on the stand. The trial's a circus, but I've got a plan. Not a grifter, still worse than Dan. Hopscotch squares, don't trip, don't fall. BK in a felony, I've heard it all. Shake it, magic 8-ball. Tell me the truth, will justice call? Me be the diva, she's running the show. Two Capone and Meg, yeah, everybody knows. Fact or fact, well, nobody knows. What the corn echoes as the chaos grows. My credibility left in a vehicle. Hopscotch squares, don't trip, don't fall. BK in a felony, I've heard it all. Shake it, magic 8-ball. Tell me the truth, will justice call? What the corn echoes as the chaos grows. My credibility left in a vehicle.
What's up, everyone? Happy Tuesday. Hope you all are doing well today. And I've had a great week so far, even though we're just a couple days in. Carmen's not feeling well. She has a migraine.
I do.
So there's that. But I know, Gabby, it's hilarious. And also, don't be like Dan. And I am still worse than Dan. It's okay. And good evening, Gabby. Good evening, associates. Good morning, Flash fan, and good night, or have some food or something. I don't know what. What's up, Frank? Yes, you are an associate. I saw somebody else. Luca. What's up, Luca? How are you? I'm D&D as always, Flashman. What's up, Sharon? Hope you're doing well today. Oh, it's Wednesday. Well, so we know the world makes it to Wednesday. Last week it was iffy. We weren't sure.
Can always count on Luca to tell us our future.
But I am happy to know we're going to make it to Wednesday. That's awesome. Sharon says to feel better.
Thank you. I took them Excedrin, so I don't have it in me to do it right now. I'm sorry.
You don't eat till 8? Oh, you're trying to tell me you're on a schedule, Flashman. I don't believe it. Wow.
Thank you, Luca. It's just been a long day. I had a test for the sheriff's department today. That's just really long. To give me a headache. But yeah, you're right, Gabby. I just need to suck it up and walk it off.
You thought Luca went to the Twilight Zone? Yeah. Yuck.
I would have much rather been doing that.
I would rather not have been doing either one of the things that either one of you were doing today. Oh, she means get it together. That's all.
I know what you mean.
She wasn't telling you to walk it off. That'd be mean. Anyways, so we are going back to Texas. Carmen's already there for the Chante Mallard trial that took place in 2003. If you've not been following along, well, this trial is a mess. Not because of the lawyers, but because the case is horrible. Chante Mallard, sorry, I don't know where Miller came from, was 25 years old at the time of the incident. I think the incident actually happened in 2001. She was driving home after a night out with friends where she had some alcohol, had some devil's lettuce, had some X or E, whatever you want to call it. And she hit a homeless man, 37-year-old Gregory Biggs, putting him face first into her windshield. And instead of stopping at that point or driving to the closest place to get help or call 911 because 2003, not everyone had a cell phone at that time. She didn't do anything. She didn't render aid to him in any way, shape, or form. She just drove home, pulled into her garage, shut the door. According to her statement, sat in the car and cried, telling Mr. Biggs she was sorry and he was still alive and begging her to please get him some help. Her response to that was to go inside, call her friend T to come and get her, go driving around with T for a little bit, telling T what had happened. T did not believe her, of course, because, that's like a crazy story. And then they go back. T goes into the garage. She sees Mr. Biggs and tells Chante, you need to do something about this. T did have a cell phone. T could have gone out to her car and called 911 and left. But she did nothing. And it wasn't until Chante's other friend, Miranda, told Miranda's mother what had happened, and Miranda's mother made Miranda call and report everything to the police. Miranda did not testify, but we did hear from Miranda's mother, and we did hear the 911 call that Miranda made to the police, telling them what had happened. So that's how they got involved. In the meantime, before they got involved, Mr. Biggs was in Chante's windshield in her garage for 2 to 3 days before he passed away. Once he passed away, Chante and the first witness that we're going to see tonight, Cleet Jackson, moved his body to Cobb Park, where he was found by a group of men who alerted an off-duty firefighter who was there strength training that they had found a body. So I understand as much as I can understand. She had an accident. She was scared. She was drunk. She was on drugs, all those things. The next day, she still didn't do anything. The next day, she still didn't do anything. She could have helped him. And we're also going to hear from the medical examiner, Dr. Pirwani. I don't know if I'm saying his name right. And we did hear yesterday from the captain at the fire department. Oh, footnote here, who worked with her brother, who was a lieutenant at the fire department at the time, and who was working that night. She could have called him. She had a direct line to him to ask him for help, but she didn't. But we did hear from him yesterday. And who was that second witness?
So we heard from Captain Jim Souders and then Dr. Raymond, however you say his last name, who is an emergency medicine physician.
So we heard from both of them that had he had gotten medical treatment, he would have survived his injuries. We're going to hear from the medical examiner tonight who did the autopsy on him about how he believes he also believes he would have survived his injuries had he just gotten some treatment. Unfortunately, she did none of those things for him. Oh, and she's a certified nursing assistant, and so is T. And they still did nothing for him. So I don't know. I've really tried to think about the thought process that would have to happen to make me do something like that and not help somebody, but I can't come up with one. Yeah, that would be also true. She could have just not drove home. Just don't drive home.
Yeah, maybe stop at all the fire departments, police stations, hospitals, everything that you had access to instead of doing what you actually did.
Yep. What's up, Lavi? Sorry. Yes, I know. I know she's like, I don't feel good. I don't care. You can work. She's got my back. It's all good.
I got you. Also, I saw you guys' Boilermaker comments. This was like $10. I support IU. This just is comfortable.
Oh, I saw Boilermaker go by, but I couldn't read them.
Yeah, no, I use giving a spanking right now for people. They are
Also,
what, 5-0?
Also, our state, I live by Indiana University, but I'm not that far from Purdue, so we have a lot of license plates around here. A house divided, IU, Purdue, whatever.
I mean, I have a house divided, and so do you. You got a son that graduated from Purdue. I got Cheyenne that graduated from Purdue, but I'm still a Hoosier fan.
She's actually really messed up 3 days later, so effed up. I would just hope that's the case, Gabby, because that at least gives me an explanation for her actions.
Yeah, she's not. That stuff doesn't last in your system that long.
Because all the defense has given us so far is she was so scared, she was crying, she was upset, her, and nothing about Mr. Biggs or what she did or why she did it or anything other than she was upset. And yesterday, the defense's questioning of, was it the doctor, like, was horrible. They convicted her on that questioning alone by her own attorneys on, well, if she would have gotten help this fast, what would have happened, or this fast. It wouldn't have taken the fire department or the ambulance that long to get there because they knew where she was. Like she lived in proximity to 2 hospitals, a fire department, and 2 police stations. She was like in this 10-minute circle of all those. It would not have taken them that long to get him loaded and gone.
Well, because that emergency medicine doctor testified that he actually, though he was pretty mangled, he didn't actually have life-threatening injuries.
Right.
And he very, I don't want to say easily, but easily could have been saved. I mean, probably a lot of physical therapy.
Well, and he was going to lose his leg.
Yeah.
From the knee down, because it was almost amputated in the collision.
Right. But he still would have lived.
He still would have lived. All right, let's get rolling. First up is Mr. Jackson.
I got to answer Gabby's question. Same place.
Oh.
Same place.
Like Purdue Chicken.
Same place.
There is a place not far from here, I think it's down by the auction, that I think they do raise Purdue chickens.
Oh, down by Dinky's?
Yeah. It's kind of, I kind of makes me sad to drive by it because I'm like, you poor chickens.
Yeah, they raise chickens over there and they raise turkeys over there.
Yeah, poor birds. All right, let me know how the sound is. Oh, whoops. What's up, Bri? How you doing? How is your hand? I hope it's all healed up. Hope Madison is feeling better. It is. Okay, Gabby. I didn't say the name of it on purpose. It's called Dinky's, but it's huge.
Yeah, it's a huge freaking auction. It's a huge livestock auction.
It's a huge Amish auction where there's electricity and Amish food, and they run all the computers and they run all the cash registers and they run everything and make tons and tons of money. It's humongous. And
you can literally find anything you want there.
Yes. And that is what she said.
Huge.
Thanks, Bri.
Thank you. I will, once this whatever it's called, Excedrin kicks in. Then I'll feel a lot hotter.
Well, at least you don't have a fever, so you don't feel hot from that.
Yeah, that's true.
All right, let's roll.
All right. Would you raise your right hand? You solemnly swear a firm testimony about to give the cause now pending before this court will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God.
Okay.
All right.
Judge.
Wherever you feel most comfortable.
Yes.
All right.
Your Honor, we had previously objected to the prosecutor bringing up, Mr. Jackson's criminal, the agreement he made with them to testify. And we didn't even want to bring up anything about his criminal record or the deal he made to testify. And the court has overruled that. And I just wanted everybody to know we didn't want to bring it up, and we're going to re-urge all of that.
Overruled.
He's in prison clothes. Those aren't scrubs.
What an idiot.
Sit down, Whistler. Oh my.
It really honestly blows my mind how much he sounds like a, what are those called? Like a smoke detector. Because he does.
He does. He whistles
And
bad. And he's not even by the microphone, which I think whatever said last night that they needed the little foamy covers on there. He's not even by one when he whistles so bad.
Yeah. But it's just, how are you going to sit here and call those scrubs? Like, those aren't scrubs.
What's up, Ash?
Oh, Mom, I forgot to tell you that Ash and I had a baby. It's a baby avocado.
Aw.
That's on a different stream. But yeah, you have a baby avocado.
Well, that's funny because
granddaughter,
last night
so-
I had a dream all about babies.
I'm telling you, there's one coming up. Because
I also had a dream that I had a baby or I was having a baby, which would be completely impossible. But
I told there's one coming up somewhere because.
But I saw one very, very clearly last night. I think it was a girl. I don't know because they were getting ready to say what it was, and then it switched. But I leaned girl. Anyway,
I just told you about the dream that I had.
Yeah, I told Bree. She dismissed it. So the end. I generally only dream of babies when somebody's pregnant, and I am not because I cannot be. And yeah, there's nope.
No.
I would be famous, and because it would be a miracle.
Right.
Like
You'd be the modern day Mary.
I would be in lots of different ways, but
But you are right. So far, with all like my cousins and stuff, look, there's our child. All my cousins and stuff that have had babies and stuff, you've been almost spot on every time that someone's pregnant.
well, it's not because of my age, it's because I don't have the parts. And neither does my husband. That would be a Christmas miracle. All right, back to the Whistler. Frank's is my freaking favorite part. I love it.
Googling.
Your Honor, there is a motion pending in place, giving the defense notice that I do intend to go into those matters during my direct exam of this witness.
Well, we've made all of our objections regarding that, Your Honor, and basically is that we don't want him to bring that up with this particular witness because that would be imputed to our client, and that's why we don't think they ought to talk about his criminal record. We've set out all those reasons, and the objectives under 403. The probative value is substantially outweighed by the prejudicial effect.
All right. And the court has done the requisite test and overruled.
Yeah, and also, Your Honor, we object to him being brought out here in jail clothes. He would be on decent clothes. We object to that.
All right, overruled.
And can we have a running objection to all that?
You may. Anything further before we bring in the jury?
Nothing to say, Your Honor.
All right, bring in the jury. All right. Counsel for state, you may call your next witness.
State calls Cleet and Al Jackson.
All right, let the record reflect this witness has been previously sworn. You may continue.
Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Jackson, would you state your name for the record, please?
Cleet Daniel Jackson.
And Mr. Jackson, would you mind moving the microphone a little closer to you so that we can hear you? Okay. You want to try it again? State your full name, please.
Cleve Daniil Jackson.
Okay, I'm still having trouble hearing you. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Okay, can you move the seat up a little bit, sir? Thank you. Mr. Jackson, how old are you?
28.
And do you have any other names that you use or nicknames that you go by?
Just a nickname.
Okay, what's your nickname?
Boom.
Okay. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
Mr. Jackson, I'm showing you what's been offered in.
I know you guys could not just see this. I don't know if you believe in ghosts or not, and I'm not saying there's one here, but that door is completely open by itself when you hit play. Oh, goodness.
Right.
I'm going to go ahead and shut the door again.
Oh my gosh, Fry, hilarious. Also, Gabby is not babysitting an avocado, so you guys can canoodle in second Canada.
Apparently, we're having a ghost baby.
There you go.
Because that door actually latches, and like as you hit play, it just opens. I'm like,
If my door opens, then I'm running because, well, I'm not running anywhere because I'd be trapped. However, it's closed.
well, this door is closed and latched, and it just swung
I saw you
open.
look. I thought you were talking to Cheyenne.
No, I was like, what the heck is that? Cheyenne's outside.
You say granny panties?
Yeah. Granny, is it my grandma? Is it Mr. Biggs? He's like, hey, let me wash this trial real quick.
All right, back
Man,
to.
my heart pitter patter.
I can just go through the hole in the wall. That's fixed, and that's upstairs. I would be trapped in this room because the door is the only way out. Ronnie believes it was a ghost. It is almost October.
Don't tell me that.
Okay, it's September. And play.
Evidence is State's Exhibit number 159. The person in that picture, is that you?
Yes.
Have you ever gone by the name Bond?
No.
Have you ever given anybody that name as your name?
No.
Okay. And I'm showing you what's been already admitted as State Exhibit 158. You recognize that person?
Yes.
And what's his name?
Tyrone.
Tyrone Cleveland?
Yes.
Thank you. Mr. Jackson, how far did you get in school?
High school. Like
What grade?
11th grade.
Do you have any college?
No, sir.
Are you trying to get your GED now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And you're currently incarcerated, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Mr. Jackson, I need to go over some matters with you regarding any convictions that you've had at this time, okay? Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Let's see, back in 1995, were you convicted of a misdemeanor offense, failure to identify to a peace officer?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and back in, looks like 1999, were you revoked on a probation for burglary of a habitation?
Yes, sir.
And you went to prison for that offense, right?
Yes, sir.
How many years in prison did you get for that?
2.
Okay. And currently, you are incarcerated on a conviction for tampering or fabricating physical evidence. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And how many years did you get for that?
10.
Okay. And prior to being brought back to Tarrant County to testify in this case, you were in the penitentiary. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And that would have been serving that sentence?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Do you know a woman by the name of Chante Mallard?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and do you see the person you know as Chante Mallard in the courtroom today, sir?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What I need you to do is to point to her and, well, is she the woman standing at the defense table at this time?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, may the record reflect this witness has identified the defendant.
It shall so reflect.
Thank you, Your Honor. How long ago was it when you first met Chante?
In 1999.
Okay. And did she go by Chante or did you call her by any other name?
Tay.
Tay? Okay. And what were the circumstances when you first met her?
Could you be more specific?
Sure. Where'd you first meet her? Where were you at?
Convenience store.
Okay. And after meeting her, and what year was that, would you say?
99.
Okay. After meeting her that time, did y'all strike up any kind of friendship or relationship?
Yes, sir. A friendship and a relationship.
Okay. And by relationship, was this a one-on-one monogamous kind of dating relationship?
Sort of.
Okay. Well, how would you describe the relationship?
I mean, one-on-one for us, we never was around a lot of people.
Okay.
It was just her and I a lot.
Okay. Was it an intimate relationship?
Yes, sir.
Sexual relationship?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And after meeting her that first time, how often would you say y'all associated or saw each other?
Months.
Okay. You would say it was months in between each time, or you saw each?
A total of like 2 to 3 months.
Okay.
Maximum. 2 months the minimum.
Okay. And at some point, did you stop seeing her?
Yes, sir.
And what was the reason for that?
Incompatibility.
Okay. And at some point after meeting her that first time, did you go to prison for the first time?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And while you were in prison, did she contact you or write you?
No, sir.
Okay. After you got out of prison, did you happen to meet her again?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell me about what month or year it was that you met her after getting out of prison?
August 2001.
Okay. And do you remember where you met her that time?
Just seen her at a convenience store.
Okay. And after seeing her at that meeting, did y'all renew the type of relationship or whatever term you want to use for it that you had before you went to prison?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So you saw each other occasionally?
Yes, sir.
Did you have occasion to go to her house?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Did y'all go out to clubs together?
Once.
Okay. And did the relationship of a sexual nature continue?
Yes.
Okay. Back in October 25th of 2001, did you have plans to go anywhere in particular that night?
Go to a club.
Okay. And what was the name of the club you were going to go to?
Joe's Big Bamboo.
And where's that club located?
Arlington.
Was there any special occasion that you were going to there for?
My cousin's birthday party.
Okay. What's your cousin's first name?
Gary.
Okay. And who was going with you and your cousin to Joe's Big Bamboo for this birthday party?
Several guys.
About how many would you say?
10 to 12.
Okay. And what kind of place is Joe's Big Bamboo?
Social club.
Okay. So what kind of things can people do there?
Dance. Socialize. Drink.
Okay. Had you been there before?
Yes.
Okay. And how did you get to the club?
I rode with Gary.
Okay. And at any time before you went to the club, did you have a conversation with Chante Mallard about going to the club?
Yes.
And when did you have that conversation?
Early in the afternoon.
Okay. Did you invite her to come to the club that night?
I just made it aware where we was going that night.
Okay. Did y'all make any plans to hook up together that night?
Yes.
Okay. And what were the plans?
That we would see each other at the club and meet each other at the club that night.
Okay. Did the plans at that point include you going home together that night?
Yes.
And who got to the club first, you or Chante?
I did.
Okay. And about what time did you get there?
11
And that'd be 11 p.m.?
p.m.
And about what time did Chante arrive?
About 12,
Okay.
12:45, somewhere.
Around 12 or what?
12:45, somewhere from there.
Okay. You remember exactly what time she got there?
Just say 12:30.
Okay. But do you remember exactly what time?
Not exactly.
When you saw her there, was she alone or was someone with her?
She was with someone else.
Okay. Do you know the name of that person?
Just T.
Okay. And when they first got to the club, did she come right over to you and your group?
As far as my knowledge, yes.
Okay. And when you saw her, did you notice anything about her condition?
She just looked different.
Okay. And how'd she look different?
Just different from what I normally see her.
Okay. Did she look intoxicated?
Sort of,
Did
yes.
she look high?
Sort of, yes.
Okay. And did you comment on that?
Yes.
Did you ask her if she'd taken anything?
Yeah, they asked her what was wrong.
Okay. And what'd she say?
She said she wasn't feeling good. Said she was high.
Okay. Did she tell you what she took?
T told me what she took.
Okay. And what did T tell you that Chante took?
T said she gave Chante ecstasy.
Okay. And did you know Chante to use ecstasy before that day?
Never.
Okay. Did you know her to drink before that day?
Fairly.
Did Chante have any drinks in your presence at the club that night?
No.
She didn't have anything to drink in your presence?
No.
Okay. Did she stay around you the whole time she was there?
No, sir.
Did she smoke any marijuana that night?
With me?
With you?
Yes, sir.
And how did you have that marijuana? What form was that in?
In a cigar
Okay.
wrapper.
And how does that work, in case some members of the jury don't know how you have marijuana in a cigar wrapper?
Take out the cigar tobacco and put marijuana inside of it.
Okay. So you had the marijuana there at the club,
Yes, sir.
and you shared it with Chante.
Yes, sir.
When Chante got there, did she ask you to hold anything of hers?
Her keys, no money.
Okay. And do you know why she needed someone to hold her keys and her money?
For one, because we planned on leaving together, and for two, she didn't have any pockets.
Okay. And at some point, did you leave the club?
Yes.
And about what time do you think you left the club?
10 minutes to 1.
Okay. Did you leave before she did?
Yes.
And did you personally give her back her keys or her money?
No.
Did you give anybody her keys?
My cousin.
And did you give back the money?
I don't know what he gave me. I gave him the money and the keys, and I left.
Okay. So you'd made a decision that you weren't going to go home with her that night, right?
Yes.
Did you go home with somebody else?
Yes.
Someone you met at the club?
Yes.
And after you left the club that night, did you hear from Chante again?
Yes.
Okay. And was it that same night or the next morning?
Next morning.
And how did you happen to hear from her? How'd she get word to you?
My cell phone.
Okay. And do you know how many times she called you on the cell phone before you answered?
Not really. Just,
More than one?
yeah, she left like 20-some messages on my cell phone.
Okay. So was the cell phone off so you couldn't hear it ringing, or you knew it was ringing, you just weren't checking it?
Off.
Okay. And where were you when you first got her messages and decided to try to talk to her?
With the person I left with at the club house.
Okay. And did you call her back, or did you just answer one of the next calls she made? How'd that work?
Can't answer that. I don't remember.
Okay. But did you have a conversation with her?
Yes.
Okay. And what did she say?
I need to talk to you. It's important.
And did you ask her for details about that?
No.
Okay. Did you have a long conversation, or was that about it?
That was about it. I just said me and my mother's.
And when you say your mom's, is that your grandmother's house?
Yes.
And where's that located?
East side of Fort Worth.
Okay. So what'd you do?
I got up and I went to my grandmother's.
How'd you get there?
The person took me.
The person you were with that night took you to your grandmother's?
Yes.
Okay. And when you got there, did Chante arrive?
Yes.
What was she in?
T's car.
Okay. And what happened?
I got in the car.
Okay. And did you have a conversation with her?
Sort of. I was just like, what is it?
Okay. She told you something was important. You asked her what was so important?
She never been, anytime she wanted to talk to me, whenever we had conversations and she said it's important, we always talk a lot. So I didn't have to be specific on what she wanted because we always talked.
Okay. So did she just start telling you what happened as soon as you got in the car?
No.
What happened?
We drove off, and by the time we got a few blocks from my grandmother's house, she started crying and said she messed up real bad.
So when she first picked you up, she wasn't crying, and then later on, as you were driving away, a few blocks later, she started.
Are you all right over there? Struggling to hit that pause button.
Oh my gosh. Hello, Muffin Tops. How are you? Welcome back. Glad you could join us. Oh, what's up, Zach?
Hello, Papa.
Redneck. Just a scratchy neck over here. What's up, Side Eye? Good to see you. John Gary, hello.
What's up?
What's up, Hellfish Haven? Glad you joined us. Bri, no. No. They were in such
we're being inappropriate over here.
Exclusive relationship that he went home with somebody else.
He went home with somebody else, got done doing the doggy dog, rolled over, checked his phone, saw that Chante was like, "Hey, I need some help. There's someone through my windshield right now." He's like, "All right, baby, I'll be there in just a moment. I gotta tell this girl I gotta go work."
Ah. Well, I guess the guy was found guilty. Geez, Baker, think like you've been up all night or something? Rude. Hey, thanks, Hellfish Haven. Welcome to the jury pool. I appreciate it very much. So for those of you that are just now joining and maybe haven't been here before, we are watching the Chante Mallard trial from 2003. This happened in Fort Worth, Texas. She was 25 years old at the time. She was driving home from spending a few hours at the club with this gentleman on the stand here, and had obviously had some alcohol, had some Mary Jane, had some X or E, whatever you want to call it, and hit a man named Gregory Biggs. He was 37, put him head first through her windshield, did not unalive him from the impact of the vehicle. Hang on 1 second and I will continue that. Thank you, Hellfish Haven, for the 5 gifted membership. Desert Rose, Jennifer J 25, sorry, 413 KC, Rosman Ranch, and Janine J have all received gifted memberships from Hellfish Haven. If you are here, please make sure to thank Hellfish Haven. What's up, Baker? I heard you're abandoning people. Rude.
You abandoned them to the wrong person because I have a migraine.
And I'm apparently not here, so whatevs. But
people that don't know me, I'm AJ's daughter. I'm not AJ's son. I just look like her son, but I'm not. I promise I'm a 30-year-old female.
I get confused. 12. She's 30.
Yeah. I walk by the mirror. I'm like, what the hell is that? I'm like, oh, that's you.
That's me. So anyway, she ran into Mr. Biggs, put him head first through her windshield, didn't stop for help, didn't go to any of the hospitals that were close by, didn't go to any police stations that were close by, didn't call her brother, who was a lieutenant at the fire station and was working that night, didn't stop at any 24-hour gas stations. 2003, so not everyone had a cell phone. Did she stop at a single payphone and make a free 911 phone call? No. She went home and she, according to her statement, sat in her car and cried and told Mr. Biggs she was sorry. In response, Mr. Biggs begged her to please get him some help because he was still alive. Her response was to get out of her car and go inside and continue to cry, I guess, in her kitchen, whatever. She calls a friend, she leaves, goes around with the friend for a little bit, and brings a friend back because her friend didn't believe her. Friend sees the guy in the windshield and tells Chante, as a defendant, you need to do something about this. To which what she did was wait 3 days for Mr. Biggs to pass away. And then she called our witness that we have on the stand at the moment, Cleet Jackson, who helped her move Mr. Biggs' body to the park where he was discovered.
Yeah, their hope was to basically make it look like he got the crap kicked out of him. But they didn't account for the lack of blood, but the obvious drag marks where this clearly didn't happen here. Yeah, she's a piece of work. I mean, I've seen a lot of cases and stuff, but this is one of the craziest I've ever seen.
This one does not ever get better. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. I mean, we've not seen anything that explains why she did what she did. Her defense has offered nothing and has actually, in my opinion, helped to convict her because they have been so horrible.
Like,
not to the sorry.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
It's like yesterday when there was a emergency medicine physician that got up there and he testified. He said besides one of his legs having to be amputated, he did not sustain any wounds that he couldn't have survived.
She just had to get him help.
Yeah, she just had to get him some help. That's all she needed to do, and she refused.
I thought she told him if he got out of her windshield, she wouldn't call the cops about his vandalism. Pride. Oh my gosh.
As you can see, our chat is just as dark humored.
You are welcome, Hellfish Haven.
I'm writing that down. That's a good one.
Baker, she probably would try. It wouldn't surprise me.
That wouldn't surprise me.
And yes, her defense is in the shitter.
Yeah.
Where they belong. Oh my gosh. And there's a lot of whistlers in this courtroom. One of her older white-haired defense attorney is the worst whistler ever. He sounds like a smoke detector whose batteries are going bad and they just chirp every few minutes. You will be looking at your smoke detectors. I promise. It's awful. I don't remember. It was somebody that, Texas Karen Reed, except for this dude was actually hit by a car. And you can tell injuries are very, very different. Sorry. Not sorry, Zach.
Hey, I need some milk money, Zach. You got my child support from my mom. I can't even say with a straight face.
Hey, wait, who has Tourette's? Did I say? I think I do. So this guy on the stand, he pleaded guilty to tampering with evidence because he moved Mr. Biggs' body. He got 10 years, and then he's obviously here to testify against his one-time woman. And he just looks thrilled to be here. And
don't worry, he's only in scrubs, according to the defense. He's not in a prison uniform. It's just scrubs.
I said that he was in scrubs. Did they say that?
I don't know.
They didn't want him in jail clothes. Oh,
sorry, he's incarcerated.
That's what is that why he whistled? No, he just whistles when he says anything with S. Just whistles. And even when he's not by a microphone, because somebody used that as a excuse yesterday, which made sense, but this guy won't even be by a microphone. And I'm telling you, you will check your smoke detectors. Zach. Thanks for the milk money. Me no speaky English, have no have dinero.
Thanks, Papa. Now I can buy some milk.
Wow, no more dry cereal for Carmen for 2 days.
Wow, you're the best. All right, let's get on.
All right, we're gonna roll. He's so excited. Let's continue.
Cry.
But I knew she was crying. She looked like she was crying.
She looked like she'd been crying even before that.
Yeah, when I got in the car, I knew something was wrong.
Okay. And she said she messed up real bad.
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you say?
What did you do?
Nope.
She started crying. She couldn't really explain it to me. She just said, "You're gonna be mad at me."
Did you have any idea what she was talking about?
No.
Okay. Did she keep driving when she was talking to you?
Yes.
Okay. Did she ever, as she was driving, wherever she was going, tell you what you were going to be mad at her about?
No.
And did you end up somewhere?
At her house.
Whose house?
Chante's.
Is that the house of Will Barger?
Yes, sir.
Had you been there before?
Yes, sir.
Had you spent the night in that house before?
Once.
So what happened when you got to the house?
She was still crying and crying and crying and crying and hollering.
Did you call anybody on your phone while
Yes,
you were
I
driving
did.
up there? Who'd you call?
A friend of mine,
And why'd you call him?
because she was different. She cried so much I didn't know what was going on. She said I was going to be mad at her. So I just said, man, anything happened to me, I wish Chante.
So that's the conversation you had with the friend on the cell phone?
Yeah,
Okay. Because you didn't know what she was upset about and you were getting nervous.
that's it.
Okay. So you got to her house. Did y'all stay in the car or did you go in the house?
Went in the house.
Okay. And had she at this point told you anything about any of the details of what had happened?
No,
Okay. And so once you got in the house, what happened?
I kind of looked around the house and I said, man, what is it?
Okay. What'd you say?
She hesitated and cried some more, and I said, what is it? And then she said she had a wreck.
Okay. And what did you say?
The police let you come home or something? What is it, you know?
You thought she'd already been arrested then?
Yeah.
Okay. Did she tell you any more about what happened?
It was like, I tore up my car, I'm in trouble. And at the same time, she was crying, and I was like, where the car? It's in the garage.
So what'd you do?
We headed towards the garage door.
Now, to get to the garage door, what rooms do you have to walk through?
Living room and the kitchen.
Okay. And did you open the garage door?
I tried to.
And I mean the garage door, the kitchen, the door from the kitchen to the garage. Did you open that door?
Yes.
Okay. And then did you try to open the automatic garage door?
Yes.
And did you get it open?
No.
Why not?
Because she stopped the door from going up.
Okay. And did she say anything?
I tried to let it up. She was like, I don't want my mom and them to see the car.
Okay. So what'd you do?
Let it back down and cut the light on in the garage.
You turned the light on?
No, she did.
Okay. And what kind of light is there in the garage? Is it just one bulb or more than one?
One bulb.
Okay. Is it lighted up real bright?
No.
When you turned on the light, could you see the car?
Yes.
Okay. And what'd you see?
Seen the windshield busted. Kind of like the top of the car dented in.
Okay. Did you say anything to her about it?
Kind of like, dang, what you hit? What happened? And
Did she tell you what she hit then?
she couldn't just really flat out say what she did. I mean, she was still crying. The closer I get to the car, the more we talked, the worse she cried.
So you're walking down from the entry to the car.
Now I am.
Okay, which side of the car are you walking?
Driver's side.
Okay. And did you see anything in the car?
I look back at her at the time, I'm thinking like, what? Okay, we can get the car fixed so your mama and them won't know. So I went and looked and opened up the car door, and at the same time I opened up the car door, she was like, I hit somebody and he's still in the car.
Okay. So she's saying that just as you're opening the door.
Right.
And what did you see in the car?
The dude.
Okay. When you say the dude, are you talking about, can you give me some description? Was he white? Was he black?
I didn't know what color he was.
Okay. But where was he when you saw him?
Passenger side, floorboard of the car.
Okay. Was his whole body down towards the floorboard at that point?
Just about all of it.
Okay. And do you know about what time it was when you're at that point, when you're in the garage and you're seeing him for the first time?
It's in the morning, about 9 something.
Okay. Do you know exactly?
No.
Okay. So what'd you do? You could tell there was a body in the car. What'd you do?
At the time when I saw her, she was like, I think he did.
You said, I think he's dead?
Yeah.
Okay. And what did you say?
The fuck you call me for?
Were you upset?
Yeah, kind of.
Why were you upset?
I was upset for multiple reasons.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell me one of them?
Because you called me to see that. And I just got out of prison. I got kids. And I just got my life right to be a father to my kids. And I promised my kids I wasn't going to come back to prison for one.
She thought she just got you in trouble.
I knew she got me in trouble.
Okay. So what did you do?
After I said that, I was like, man, shit. Then I got upset at her because her friend gave her that stuff. Then
I can't hear you.
Her friend gave her the X. I got upset because of that.
Okay.
Then I got upset for her calling me.
Okay.
And we said, let's get out this garage. Because I knew the dude was dead.
How'd you know he was dead?
Because he had a bowel movement and I tasted death in the area. Same thing I smelled when my mama died.
You said he had a bowel movement. What part of his body did you see that on? I'm asking.
On his butt.
Okay. And you could see that, right? Did you do anything to touch him with anything to see if he was alive?
Like a rake or something.
Is that a yes?
Yes.
You touched him with a rake.
Something, I don't know what it was. I can't be specific.
Did he move?
No.
So then what'd you do?
Walked in the living room.
And?
Asked her who all knew about it. And she was crying. I was like, it's going to be all right. Because I knew it was an accident.
How'd you know it was an accident?
Because, man, if she'd have shot somebody and then she'd have called me and then I knew it was on purpose, or if she'd have stabbed somebody and called me, I'd have knew it was on purpose. But she ran over somebody. You don't hit nobody on purpose that you don't know and leave them in there. So I knew it was an accident because she panicked.
Did she tell you the details at that time about how it happened?
Not at that time, no. She was too busy crying.
So did you stay there in her house or did you go somewhere else?
We sat there for like 5 or 10 minutes and then we left.
And where'd you go?
To T's house.
And who was driving?
I drove.
And what happened when you got to T's house? Or let me stop you before you answer that. When you were driving to T's house, did any more details come out from Chante about how this had happened?
She just said she was in the process of dropping T off at home to meet me at her house.
She thought she was going to meet you at her house?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened?
She remembers she hit something.
Okay. And did she say what she did after she hit something?
She realized what it was and she pulled over.
She pulled over where, did she say?
No, I don't know. She just pulled over.
Okay, and what did she do when she pulled over?
She tried to take him out the car.
And did she say how she tried to take him out the car?
Pull him back out through the windshield of the car.
Did she say anything about striking the windshield?
Yes, with an arm.
And did she have any cuts or injuries on her that were consistent with that?
Yes.
Okay. And did she say she was able to get him out of the car?
No.
Okay. So where'd you say she took him next?
John Gary, Carmen is trying to tell you would call 911.
911. That's who you call, but my phone is not wanting to pick it up.
That's it. 911. And hello, Danny T and Shenny. I waved at you guys.
I got to delete that for accidentally.
Yes, please. I don't need your door to be kicked open, not a ghost.
Yeah.
So if you didn't catch it, this dude, the dude, he had just gotten out of prison in August, and this is October
Stellar.
that this happens. So,
Stellar
hey,
individual.
one back.
Well, mama, just shit, man. You just messing with this girl over here.
Also,
And all of a sudden, this other girl gave him a holler at his phone.
I hate to tell her he wasn't going to meet you at your house because he went home with somebody else. That's why you had to call him 20 times.
Yeah, he was getting home. But once he showed up, he was like,
True
ma'am.
Fry. Once you tell somebody something, it is no longer a secret.
Exactly.
Oh, there was something. Something going on. They were exclusive, as in they only hung around each other.
No, he's meaning, I don't know if you're he or she, sorry. They're meaning revolving door within the prison system.
Oh, sorry. I took it as a different revolving door, but
maybe
yes.
I'm taking it wrong. I don't know.
No, you're correct.
My favorite one is one time we released this individual and they literally walked across the street to the liquor store, shoved a bottle of liquor down their pants. Of course, we're standing right there. And we just looked at him like, really? They were released and rebooked within 25 minutes. What an idiot.
Mike is me.
Oh, hello. I get people's names are hard to see sometimes. Is that a he or she? Or people look at me and they're like, what is that? I don't even know.
That is how secrets work, Shani.
Yeah.
He's just picking up the basics to get going.
Yeah. Bye, Papa Zach. I'll see you again in 30 years.
Yes, be right back. Okay. I think it's such a familiar story. We'll see.
Be right back. My ass. The last time you said I'll be right back is when I was standing there. Papa, I need some milk. Eat your cereal dry. I'll be right back. 30 years ago.
Also, secrets don't make friends. That's what you tell somebody when
I will say this. I don't know if any of y'all have ever been to prison. I have not. I've just worked at them. He is trying to abide by prison rules. So he's hesitant on some of his answers, so he doesn't get his ass beat when he goes back. I will say that. I will say that for him. There's some of these where he's doing his eye rolls, but he's got to be careful about what he says. Because stitches get stitches, and that is a very, very real thing in the prison system.
And then I found Carmen like this, the cat in a box on the side of the road. Zach, what a guy.
best papa in the world. Yes, they do. I've seen people get their absolute head dashed in.
Honey, if I hit a stranger, I'd call 911. If I hit an ex, I'd phone a friend. Oh, flash fan.
Oh, you don't want to eat that stuff.
Nope.
We have a thing there. It's literally called mystery meat. It is called mystery meat for a reason.
That gives me chills. Not in a good way.
I've eaten it. It's actually not that bad. But I don't know what it is. I think it's pork. I think.
I will say, when she worked at the county jail here where we live, because she lives in Texas now, she would talk about how good their food was because
oh yeah, their food was phenomenal. We had a professional chef there.
And our jail here is not like bougie or anything like that.
No, that thing is about to literally fall apart. They're actually having to rebuild a new one. But they just so happened to get he was a chef at a restaurant across the street. But he had his culinary arts degree and all that stuff. Like, he was a professional chef, and man, could that guy cook.
Danny, you are so right. And now Flashman does not want to go to prison because they don't fry food there.
No, we literally just slap it on your plate. If it meets your nutritional value, that's all we care about.
Spam. Ugh. I can't say like gross because I've had it. It just, the thing in the can, it just gets
not
me.
that.
My dad eats. I'm like, Dad, why are you eating Spam?
I don't think I've ever had Spam.
It's like, I don't know. He likes it. My mom, there's no way she would have had it. So that's.
No, I remember.
He can have it now.
She gave me one day a year, which was on my birthday, where she would take me to Red Lobster. My grandma hated seafood. Like, she hated the smell of it. She wasn't a fan, but she'd give me one day a year where she'd take me to Red Lobster.
Well, she hated it. She had Alzheimer's, and I'm not making a mean joke here. She hated it literally until she forgot she hated it, and then she liked it.
But that's not a mean joke, because
that and beer.
There was a time, and then we'll get going. We were at my little cousin's birthday. It was Lainey's first birthday, because it just popped up on my Facebook feed for memories. My grandma, not a beer drinker whatsoever, did not like beer. And I was drinking Shock Top. And she just kept looking at it. I'm like, do you want some? And she's like, yep. Like, she didn't say anything. She just nodded her head, yes. So I gave it to her. She started freaking chugging it. I'm like, Grandma, I can take you back. Like, no. I want to take you back to the freaking nursing home. You're going to be shit. I can't do that.
I was like, they're never going to let us take you out again. And they told me when I was at the nursing home the next day, like, she can do whatever she wants. She's not a prisoner.
She freaking chugged that thing. And I'm like, you don't even like beer.
Hilarious. All right, back to Cleet.
To our house.
And did she ever mention whether he made any noises when she was driving back to her house with him?
When she hit him, she said he heard a groaning sound.
When she first hit him, she
first hit him. That's when she heard him make a sound. After that, she never said whether she did or not to me.
She didn't say anything at that time, or she never said it?
Never said nothing to me at that time.
Okay. So she didn't mention anything to you at that time about any sounds he made while she was driving him home?
Just when he came in the car, he made a sound.
Okay. Did she say anything to you about whether or not she knew whether he was alive when she got him back to the garage at that time?
She knew that.
She what?
She said he was.
She said he was alive?
Because she called T, and her and T came over, and they went out there and checked on him.
Okay. She says that T came over and they both checked on him.
Right, both of them said it.
Okay. And when they checked on him, what they find out?
He was still alive, I guess.
And they knew that because he was doing what?
From the way she was saying it, because he made a sound or something when they went off in the garage together.
Okay. She mentioned the word moaning at that time?
Yes.
So you went to T's place, and what'd you do when you got there?
I sat down, tried to get my head together.
Okay. Did y'all talk about it anymore?
She couldn't really talk too much.
Okay. So what happened next?
Just sat there and I'm like, man. And T probably, I believe T made the statement, said we could do this, burn the body. I'm like, why you just didn't call the officers or whatever?
Right. And it sounds like you're saying two things. Is this T talking or Tay talking?
T talking.
Okay. The second part of what you just said, something about calling the officers.
I said,
You asked T why she didn't call the police.
right.
Okay.
Because I knew she was involved with an officer.
Okay.
And she had access to call it.
And who made the comment about burning something?
I believe it was T.
Okay. And what was that comment?
About how we gonna get, what could we do now?
Okay. And what do you say?
We ain't finna burn nobody. We just finna put him somewhere where his family could find him so they can bury him because it was an accident.
That was your statement?
Said yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
And so, were you gonna do that by yourself?
No.
Did you decide to call somebody?
Tyrone,
And how's Tyrone related to you, if at all?
my cousin.
And you know about what time it was when you called Tyrone?
No.
It was still daytime?
Yes.
And did you call him on the phone?
Yes.
Was that on the cell phone?
Yes.
And this cell phone that you got, is that cell phone in your name?
No.
Whose name is it in?
Ex-girlfriend of mine.
And when you called him on the cell phone, what'd you tell him?
I need to talk to you.
And what did he do?
See, came over later on.
You didn't tell him what you wanted to talk to him about?
No.
Why not?
I just didn't.
Do you think he would have come over if you told him what you needed his help with?
Pretty much.
You still think he would have come over?
I don't know. I can't say that.
So how long did it take him to get over to T's place?
He came around later on that night.
Okay. So,
I didn't make no specific time.
okay. So when he got there, did you tell him what was going on?
Yes.
What was his reaction?
He kind of laughed.
He kind of laughed?
Like, psh, yeah, right.
He didn't believe you?
No.
And do you know at what point he did believe you?
When he saw it with his own eyes.
Okay. Well, when he got there, did y'all immediately leave to go do something with that body or car?
No.
Okay. What'd you do?
I sat for a minute. I got high for a minute.
Got high on what?
Marijuana.
Okay.
Drunk some alcohol. After that, found a car.
Okay. Now, did you ask to use anybody's car there at the apartment?
No.
You never asked T if y'all could use her car?
No, T told us we weren't going to use her mama's car like that.
Okay. So who did you decide you were going to, whose car did you decide you were going to try to use?
A friend of mine,
What's your friend's first name?
Nikki.
May I approach your honor?
You may.
And did you go get Nikki's car?
Yes.
Showing you States Exhibit 78 and 79. You recognize those pictures?
Yes.
That Nikki's car?
Yes.
And how did you get to where Nikki lived to get the car?
T.
Oh, I'm sorry, Your Honor. I would offer into evidence States Exhibit 78 and 79 this time. Under your defense.
Object.
All right. States Exhibits 78 and 79 will be admitted.
I'm sorry, I don't know if I asked you, you didn't answer. How did you get to Nikki's place?
T.
Okay, who did T drive to Nikki's place? Just you?
Me and Chante.
Okay, what about Tyrone?
Met back up with Tyrone at my grandmother's house later that night.
Okay. So how did you go about borrowing this car? Did you tell Nikki what you were going to borrow her car for?
Yes.
You told her you were going to use it to move a
I
body?
didn't tell her I was going to move. I don't have to be specific on when we say. I need to use your car.
Okay. Was Nikki a good friend of yours?
Yes.
Was she someone you used to see?
No.
So what'd you do after you picked up the car?
We went to my grandmother's house.
Who's we?
Me, Chante, and we met up with Tyrone, and Tyrone got in the car with Chante got in the car with Tyrone, and we went to Chante's house.
Okay. And just so I understand it, from your grandmother's house to Chante's house, you're in Nikki's car,
Right.
and Tyrone and Chante are in Tyrone's car?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of car did he have? Do you remember?
No.
Okay. So did you go directly to Chante's house?
Yes.
Okay. And what happened when you got to Chante's house?
I backed the car up in the driveway, and we went in the house.
Whose car did you back up in the driveway?
Nikki's.
Okay. And did you go in the house to the garage or the front door?
To the front door.
And where'd you go once you got in the house?
I procrastinated for a minute or two. I just standing around the kitchen and the living room. Then finally we went in the garage.
And up to this point, did Tyrone still not believe that there was going to be anything in that garage?
No.
Okay. So you went in the garage, you turned on the light,
Yes.
and did Tyrone see what was in the car?
Yes. Once I walked him down there and showed him.
What was his reaction?
Appalled, shocked. Just shocked.
And did you tell him what you were wanting his help to do?
He already knew what I wanted his help to do. I didn't have to tell him again.
Okay. And did he agree to help you?
Yes.
So tell me how you, and so now are you immediately going to start trying to move the body out of the car?
No.
What'd you do first?
Walked around. I was like, man, thinking how. Then I just got a blanket or something.
Where'd you get a blanket from?
I think out of the hallway closet or something. I don't remember.
Okay. And what'd you do with the blanket?
Laid it by the passenger side door.
Okay. And you said the blanket came from the closet?
Yes.
Did you ever tell us once before that Chante gave you the blanket?
It was in the house. Well, I know the blanket was in a closet. And she wouldn't have told me.
Okay. Makes sense. So after you got the blanket, what'd you do with it?
I laid it by the car.
And then what'd you do?
Opened up the car door.
And then what'd you do?
His weight was shifted against the car door.
Okay.
So his body just kind of tipped out, sort of.
Okay. Did you have to use anything or grab any part of him to move him completely out of the car?
I just got like a shovel and got his leg and put it inside the blanket.
Okay. One of his legs hurt real bad?
It was off.
Completely off?
Yes.
And what was Tyrone doing all this time?
Standing on the driver's side of the car.
Had he done anything at this point to help you?
No.
So you have him on the blanket, and what do you do with the blanket?
Tied up.
And how do you tie it up?
4 corners.
And then what'd you do?
Kind of like apologize, sort of, to him.
Who are you apologizing to?
Mr. Biggs.
You say Mr. Biggs?
Yeah.
Did you know his name at that point?
Yes.
How'd you know his name?
I looked at his wallet,
And where was his wallet laying when you looked at it?
like in the seat.
So you looked inside and you saw what, a driver's license?
Either ID, one of the two.
Okay. And so you're apologizing to him as you're moving him.
Yes.
And once he's tied up in the blanket, how do you get him from the garage to the car?
I can't really remember. I don't know. I can't really remember if I picked him up or we just pulled him to the car.
At any point, is Tyrone going to start helping you do this?
At that time, he did.
Okay. So are you going to have to open up the garage door to get him in the trunk of the other car?
Yes.
And did you put him in the trunk of the other car?
Yes.
And did you already know where you're going to take him?
Yes.
Where are you going to take him?
Car park.
And where's Cobb Park located?
Southeast side of Fort Worth.
How far away is Cobb Park from Chante's house?
I don't know. I didn't check the mileage.
How many minutes did it take to get there?
About 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know.
And who was in what vehicle when you went to Cobb Park?
Chante was in the car with Tyrone, and I was in the vehicle by myself.
With Mr. Biggs in the truck.
Yes.
And what happened when you got to the park?
We pulled up and we took him out the car.
And who's we? Who took him out of the car?
Tyrone and I.
And did you untie the blanket? How'd you get the blanket open?
Cut it off.
And who gave you the knife to cut it off with?
Chante gave it to Tyrone. He handed it to me.
And then once you cut open the blanket, what did you do?
Took him off the blanket.
Okay. And did you leave him in the park?
Yes.
Now, Coach, Your Honor,
You may.
put 102 up there, Miles. Showing you what's been admitted into evidence.
Oh, shit. Sorry.
That would be imputed to our client.
I meant to pause it, not take it all the way freaking back.
You said a bad word.
Well, because no good deed goes unpunished. Because I needed a break for just 1 second. But Gabby, if you're here, can you please, while I'm thinking of it, because I meant to think of it, I meant to think of it earlier and I didn't think of it. I don't want to forget. Will you please put Hellfish Haven's YouTube channel up in the chat while I fix the mess that I just created? Hellfish Haven has a channel for, I hope I get this description right, veterans to help them, like, not self-delete, basic, and to get through and help them through their issues.
Help them through like mental health crises that they may have.
I'm giving a very brief description, but I don't know if Gabby is here. Flashfan, if you know how, I will let you do it. I gotta figure out. Thank you, Flashfan. I gotta figure out where you were. I am so sorry. I am so sorry that I did that.
And thank you so much for doing that. I got a lot
Yes.
of friends that are veterans, and that's a really important cause. So you have my utmost respect for doing that.
So if you haven't already, please go and subscribe over at Hellfish Haven. And that's a great, I hate to call it a cause, but it's a great thing to support and be a support system for. And it's just it's sad. And I will try to find where we were. And hello, Sticky. That's not where we were. Oh my gosh, you guys, I cannot believe I did this. A cause. Thank you. As we my mind is
There at the apartment?
No.
We're past that, right? Oh my gosh. It's not like his facial expressions change all the time. Bye, Luca. Bye. And if anybody's worried that Wednesday doesn't happen, it does because Luca's already there. Sorry, Flash fan.
And how do you tie it up?
4 corners.
Is this close enough?
And then what'd you do?
Kind of like apologize, sort of, to him.
Who are you apologizing to?
Mr. Biggs.
You say Mr. Biggs?
Yeah.
Did you know his name at that point?
Yes.
How'd you know his name?
Looked at his wallet,
And where was his wallet laying when you looked at it?
like in the seat.
So you looked inside and you saw what, a driver's license?
Either ID, one of the two.
Okay. And so you're apologizing to him as you're moving him.
Yes.
And once he's tied up in the blanket, how do you get him from the garage to the car?
I can't really remember. I can't really remember if I picked him up or we just pulled him to the car.
At any point, is Tyrone going to start helping you do this?
At that time, he did.
Okay. So are you going to have to open up the garage door to get him in the trunk of the other car?
Yes.
And did you put him in the trunk of the other car?
Yes.
And did you already know where you're going to take him?
Yes.
Where are you going to take him?
Car park.
And where's Cobb Park located?
Southeast side of Fort Worth.
How far away is Cobb Park from Chante's house?
I don't know. I didn't check the mileage.
How many minutes did it take to get there?
About 5 or 10 minutes. I don't know.
And who was in what vehicle when you went to Cobb Park?
Chante was in the car with Tyrone, and I was in the vehicle by myself.
With Mr. Biggs in the truck.
Yes.
And what happened when you got to the park?
We pulled up and we took him out the car.
And who's we? Who took him out of the car?
Tyrone and I.
And did you untie the blanket? How'd you get the blanket open?
Cut it off.
And who gave you the knife to cut it off with?
Chante gave it to Tyrone and he handed it to me.
And then once you cut open the blanket, what did you do?
Took him off the blanket.
Okay. And did you leave him in the park?
Yes.
Now, Coach, Your Honor,
You may.
put 102 up there, Miles. Showing you what's been admitted into evidence as State's Exhibit 102. I need you to look at it and tell me if this is the condition you left him in the park in. Or you can look up there.
Yes.
Is that yes?
Yes.
Okay, you can turn it off. And where did you go, or what did you do after you put his body in that position in the park?
Went to the car wash.
And what did you do with the car wash?
Washed the car off and put the blanket in the trash.
Would this be the same blanket he'd been wrapped in?
Yes.
And did all three of you leave together after that?
Oh,
Anyone drive off by themselves?
Tyrone.
Okay. And where'd you go?
Back to T's apartment.
You still have Nikki's car, right?
Yes.
Okay. And when you got back to T's apartment, did you leave or did you stay there?
We left. Take Nikki her car back.
Okay. And then where'd you go?
Back to T's apartment.
And did you stay there?
Yes.
How long did you stay there?
The rest of that night and half of the next day.
And at some point, did you leave T's apartment?
Yes.
Did you have any discussions with Chante about how you would take responsibility for this and say it was all your fault?
Not that I can recall. No.
Did you ever tell her that if she got caught, you would say you were driving the car?
No.
No?
No.
Did you ever talk to her, to T, about keeping their mouth shut about this?
I made the statement that don't say nothing to nobody.
Okay. And did you ever say anything to anybody after you left there?
No.
And did you see Chante again after you left there?
No, I just called on the phone.
When was the first time you called her on the phone after you left that night?
Called the next day. I mean, I made several phone calls to her house, but it was like after that day, I called her on a daily basis for a few times, and then I waited. Called like the last phone call was like 3-4 weeks after the incident.
Okay. Y'all having long conversations when you're calling her? You calling to check up on her? What are you doing?
Varies.
Okay. Did y'all get together?
No.
You ever go out with her again?
No.
So after that last call, 3 or 4 weeks later, did you ever see Chante again?
No.
In person, that is.
No.
Okay. When was the first time you had any idea that anyone had been arrested on this case?
I saw it on the news.
And who did you see get arrested in the news?
Chante.
Okay. And when was the first time that you knew that anyone was looking for you?
I had a feeling they was going to look for me when she got arrested.
Okay. When was the first time you had something more than just a feeling that somebody was looking for you?
And the detectives went by my cousin's house.
Which detectives would that be?
I don't know. I don't know them by name.
Okay. Do you know if they were detectives that worked for the police department or detectives that worked for our office?
To me, a detective is a detective. They police.
Did they ever go to anybody else's house asking for you?
Not that I know of. I didn't hear about it. I just heard about that one incident.
Okay. Did you have any conversations with Tyrone during this period?
Yes, I seen Tyrone on a daily basis.
Okay. Did y'all talk about what you done that night?
No.
Did you talk about being afraid of being arrested?
He probably did. He did. We talked about him being afraid.
Okay. And at some point, were you arrested?
Yes.
Where were you when you were arrested?
My grandmother's house.
And who arrested you?
Police.
Okay. And when the police arrested you, they take you somewhere.
Yes.
Where'd they take you?
Downtown.
Okay. And did you give them a statement?
Yes.
And was that turned into a written statement that you signed?
Not a written statement, but a statement they typed out and I signed the bottom of it.
Okay. And when you gave him that first statement, did you mention anything about Tyrone's involvement?
No.
And did you later on give another statement?
Yes.
And after that, you got an attorney, right?
Right.
Mr. Harris,
Yes, sir.
who's right here.
Yes, sir.
And did you make a deal with the state regarding your testimony?
Yes, sir.
And in exchange for your truthful testimony, what did you get?
10 years.
10 years for tampering?
Yes.
And was there also some agreement about not prosecuting Rainey?
Yes.
Who's Rainey?
My child's mother, my wife, presently.
Okay. At the time this all happened, she wasn't your wife, but she's since become your wife, right?
Yes.
Okay. And she gave some testimony at a hearing, is that right?
Yes.
And you got the indication that maybe she had not told the truth.
No, you got the indication that she didn't tell the truth.
Okay. We told you as much, pretty much, didn't we?
No, didn't tell me nothing about it.
Okay. Well, were you concerned about her getting in trouble about not telling the truth?
None of that. I was.
Okay. And as part of the agreement, did we say that we would not pursue any charges against her for anything we thought she lied about?
Yes.
Anything else we promised you in this deal?
No.
So at this point, you've already pled guilty and you're serving the sentence that we agreed to, right?
Yes.
I'll pass the witness, Your Honor.
Mr. Jackson, when Chante arrived at Joe's Big Bamboo Club, and when you first saw her there, you immediately noticed that she looked different.
Yes, sir.
And by different, you mean that she looked like she was under the influence of something that you had never seen her be under the influence of. Is that right?
Right.
You could tell she was under the influence of some kind of drugs and looked certainly unusual to you.
Yes, sir.
And you knew it wasn't marijuana.
Right.
And you knew it wasn't just alcohol.
Right.
And I guess you had experience seeing people that kind of in that situation, so you'd have some feeling for it.
Yes, sir.
Was it obvious to you that she looked different?
Yes, sir.
And as a matter of fact, when you noticed how different Chante looked, you even confronted T about it. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
And you got upset with T, right?
Yes, sir.
And T's the one that said she gave Chante ecstasy. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
Chante gave you her money and keys about that time. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And as she stayed at the club that night, it certainly became. Did you see her again while you were there at the club? Did Chante come back and forth to the table you were at?
Occasionally.
And you could tell as she came back and forth that she was still messed up on something,
Yes, sir.
which T told you was ecstasy.
Yes, sir.
Now let me ask you a question. Were you even at the club out in the parking lot when T and Chante left?
No, sir.
So you weren't out there and telling T to be sure and drive for Chante because Chante was trying to drive off from the club after it had closed, were you?
No, sir.
Do you have any idea why T would tell that jury you were still out there telling her to do that?
She lied.
Okay. And it wasn't until you had some 20 or 30 pages or cell phone calls, one of the two. Was it cell phone calls?
Yes,
the next
sir.
morning when you checked your messages?
Yes, sir.
And on the message, you could tell that Chante was upset. Is
Yes,
that right?
sir. Yes, sir.
And it was clear from her voice that she was different than you had ever heard her. Isn't that right?
Yes, sir.
And she was so different that you thought something was wrong, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And what was the thought when you first heard these messages? You really thought when you heard her crying on it, she was still messed up on ecstasy. Is that right?
Right.
Because it lasts a long time, doesn't it?
3 days.
And you knew that, and you thought when you heard her voice and you heard the hysteria in her voice that oh no, it's still the ecstasy, and that's kind of what you thought it was, wasn't it?
Yes.
And ecstasy affects different people different ways, doesn't it?
Yes, sir.
And it can have some long-term effects, can it?
Yes, sir.
There's all different types of ecstasy out there on the market, isn't there, right? And on
About
the street,
60. About 60.
about 60 different types. Okay. And
3 days. It lasts 3 days. I've been meaning to Google this, but I don't like meaning to Frank Googling that.
Hey, Google.
But I don't like having that stuff in my history,
How
you
long-
know.
How long does ecstasy last in your system? 8 to 12 hours.
Yeah, 3 days. And isn't I don't know. Does that not make you I may have it confused, but I thought that made you feel like happy and like you not one that you want to go out and do everybody, but like you just loved everybody and you're just having a good time and you're relaxed and you're chill. Am I
Molly.
wrong? Is that
I mean,
Molly?
It can do that, but that's normally what Molly does.
Aw, whoever thought we were sisters yesterday. Thanks. Yeah, well, I had to come up with something sticky.
But I mean, I've dealt with people. Yeah, I've dealt with people that came into the jail. I've seen them come in on like some other stuff where they spent the entire weekend there and woke up one day morning and I was like, hey, like kind of like kicked them gently, like, get up, like you have to go to court. I'm like, where am I? But that was like PCP and stuff like that. Not ecstasy. I've never dealt with somebody on ecstasy that it lasted 3 days. Even the most like petite people to the biggest people, I've never dealt with somebody that it lasted that long.
And he just said there was 60 kinds in 2003. Who knows? I don't, but who knows what's out there now.
There's a lot of different types of it. A lot of different potencies of it. But even, again, in my personal experience, I can't speak for everybody. What I've dealt with people on it, even the most potent type, where I really have to worry, like I have to put them on 24-hour surveillance because I don't know if they're going to overdose. It still wasn't 3 days.
Yeah, that's crazy. Surely the state's going to come back. I'm surprised the state didn't object to that, because how would he, like, that seems to me like you might need to have some like at least a little bit of medical background to make that statement of it lasts 3 days.
I think they're just letting them talk.
I do too.
But I mean, I would say the longest I've seen.
Me too, right?
This is gonna go into that one. The longest I've ever seen it last in somebody's system, but also they had taken other things. So who's to say what was what? That someone was just out of their mind, was like 18 hours.
And I think the defense said in their opening, and I don't know if it was Cleet that they were saying said that she was messed up. Like he had never seen her like that and was asking T, what did you give her?
Oh yeah, it'll mess you up. Like I've seen people come in and I mean they're either really, really, really happy, and I have to tell them when I take your handcuffs off, you cannot feel my uniform. You cannot give me a hug. Like don't touch me. Or they want to fight. Or they're very, very distraught and they're just crying. But the longest I would say that I've ever dealt with somebody, and even at that, it's they tested positive for other things when we drug tested them. It was 18 hours that they were out of their mind.
And in her statement, she gave to police that the state read. She said, I only had 2 shots and I know damn well I can drink more than that, but that she was messed up. She alluded to that maybe somebody had slipped her something. T got on the stand and said, no, we took it at my house. We each took half.
Yeah, because they were like, well, did you snort it? Did you chew it? Did you swallow it? And I think she said that they chewed it. Which
yes.
We'll get into your bloodstream with your, I don't know if they're called capillaries or whatever they are. I know capillaries are in your nose, but I don't know if they're in your glands or whatever they're called. We'll get into your bloodstream a little faster. If I'm wrong, correct me on that.
He's like, I will.
That's not what I said.
All right, I'm gonna try. I'm like very carefully approaching the play and pause buttons now.
Screw it up now.
Oh my gosh.
Flashman said, I'll be judo flipping. If you touch my uniform, all bets are off. Don't touch me.
Well, now I have Kung Fu Fighting going through the song going through my mind. Thank you very much. But at least it replaced the horrible song that Gabby had going through her mind earlier, which I will not say because I don't want it to go back through my mind. It involved grandma and some reindeer.
We'll just keep it at Kung Fu Fighting.
When you actually talked to her on the telephone, either she finally got you or you called her back, Mr. Jackson, did you realize now from her voice that it was real important? Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And when you finally talked to her, you could tell by her voice she still messed up. Is that right?
Yes, sir.
And she was also crying and screaming. Is that right?
She was just crying. She wasn't screaming until I got in the car.
Until you got into the car. Okay. Now, when you finally got with her there, when you saw her face to face and got in the car with her, you thought then that it was still ecstasy that had her all messed up. Is that right?
Well, I knew it.
You knew it. And then when you could tell it by looking in her eyes, couldn't you?
Yes, sir.
And there wasn't any question in your mind it was ecstasy.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, when you got in the car, that's when she got hysterical. Is that right? And started screaming and crying.
Not until we drove off.
Okay. And how far did you drive before that came out?
Several blocks.
And when that hysteria came out and she started screaming and everything, that's when you called Riri, your friend Riri?
Yes, sir.
And you called him because you didn't know what, because number one, you saw she was on ecstasy, she was hysterical, and you didn't know what was getting ready to happen. Is that fair to say?
Right.
And you had never in your life been afraid of Chante for any reason, had you?
No.
I mean, you'd never known her to do anything harmful physically or anything to anybody, have you?
No.
You knew just the opposite.
Yes.
And you told your friend, I want you to know who I'm with because I'm in a bad situation, and that's about all. But in your mind, you were thinking, I've got somebody all messed up.
Compound questions. I know leading is permitted, but he's asking 2 or 3 questions at once.
But I'll break it down. I'll break it down, Judge. Okay. So number one is that you wanted your friend to know you were with Chante, right?
Right.
Because you didn't know what was going to be happening because she was so hysterical.
Right.
Okay. Did you talk to Chante about being with T and that group of girls?
Did I talk to her?
Ever about being with T? Did you?
I didn't like him too much.
Why not?
It was trash.
And you didn't want Chante to be with T? Is that fair to say?
Right.
When did she ever start giving you bits and pieces or details of maybe what had happened? Did she ever do that before you got to the house?
Yes.
Did you ever get the whole story, or could you really get?
I couldn't get no specific story.
And is that because she was still so upset?
She cried like, I got the story in bits and pieces while she cried.
And she had some cuts on her left arm, didn't she?
Yes, sir.
And it was down in this part of the arm right here, wasn't it?
The top part.
On the top part of the arm?
Right there.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Were you afraid that she was going to do something to herself?
She said she would.
What did she say?
To kill herself. She wanted to.
She said she wanted to kill herself.
Right.
About what time of the day was it that next morning? Do you have any idea what this was now? Was it 9 or 10 o'clock, something like that?
In between 9 and 10.
Okay. Now, when you got to the house and you saw the body in the car, what you saw is the body, the man's head was down. Is that right, into the floorboard?
Yes, sir.
And have you ever described it as kind of being Indian style?
Just how his leg looked
Okay.
when I saw him.
So his head was down into the floor and his rear end was up and his legs were just folded around him and his rear end sticking up in the air.
Yes, sir.
And the body was inside the car completely. It wasn't out on the hood.
No.
Did she remain upset when you were at the house, did Chante?
Yes.
And then when y'all left this house, first of all, you got upset with her about getting you involved in this. Is that right?
Yes.
And when you left the house and went over to Chante's, is that where y'all went? I mean,
No.
T's, over to T's next?
Yes.
And Chante was very upset over there, wasn't she? And
Yes.
T was there when you got there, or did T come later?
She was there when we got there.
All right. You used the word she had panicked. Where did you get that from? Is that just based on looking at the whole situation, you thought she panicked?
She said it,
Okay.
and I know she did.
Now, when you and Chante got to T's house, did T participate in the discussions about what's going to happen to the car?
Yes.
It was T that suggested the car be burned. Is that what you told us?
Yes.
And was Chante pretty much agreeing to what people said over there at the house?
She was in the zone.
What?
She was in the zone somewhere. She'll probably shake her head like she didn't know what she was saying.
And she was in a zone, and she was still under the effects of ecstasy, wasn't she?
Yes.
And according to you, as best you could tell, she didn't know what she was saying. Is that right?
Basically.
When you went over the house to you and Tyrone to move the body, when you got over there, Chante was still very upset and crying, wasn't she?
Yes, she didn't come in the garage too much.
She pretty much stay in the house.
In the doorway of the kitchen.
And when you opened the door to the car, the body just came rolling out. Is that right?
Periodically speaking, yeah.
And you never would have thought to try to get the body out by pulling it out through the windshield, would you?
No, she did.
And that wouldn't be the way to get the body out of the car.
No.
If you're looking at a situation rationally.
I'm not a professional body nurse. I really wouldn't know.
Okay. But by looking at the situation, opening the door was the rational thing to do.
Right.
Was any part of the body on the console in the car when you saw it?
I mean, he was a pretty big guy. So, of course, his body gonna be on him. And
What about legs? Any of those legs on?
the one that was off was sitting in the console of the car, kind of.
Right up against the console?
Right.
And that was the leg that was injured so badly.
Correct.
After y'all went back to T's house after you took the body to the park, is that right?
Right.
And you thought that would be the best place to take the body, is that right?
Car park?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
What's the reason for that? Why Cobb Park? Did you know anything about some men that fished there?
I don't know him, but I knew either somebody that worked at the National Guard office or the police ride through the park a lot during the night. And the fire station around the corner, they drive through there sometimes. And if they don't find them throughout the night, I knew somebody that older guys, I know just by just being familiar with the park, they go there early in the morning and they fish. And I knew that some kids wouldn't stumble across it nowhere.
And you picked that location because you wanted the body to be found, is that right?
Correct.
And then you had made arrangements to get the car from Nikki, and so you returned the car to Nikki.
Correct.
And the blanket you had got from the closet you threw in the trash. Is that right?
I didn't throw them in the trash. Chante threw them in the trash.
Chante threw it in the trash. Okay.
Right.
And where did Tyrone leave y'all? Was that at the car wash?
At the car wash.
Tyrone went his way, and you and Chante got in the car and went back to his house. You stayed that night.
Right.
Chante remained very upset and crying and really pretty messed up, right?
I mean, she cried the whole night. When she sleeps, she wake up crying. And
what time did you leave the next day?
can't recall. It was in the evening, late that evening. I'll say 7.
Pass the witness.
Just a few more questions, Your Honor. Let's see. Now, the comment about T having the idea of burning the car. Now, when you gave your second interview, you said that it was T and Tay, didn't you?
I just told him Tay was agreeing to a lot of stuff.
Okay, but that's not the words you used. You said T and Tay talked about burning them up and the car.
If I ask you a question and you say, yeah, that make us talk about it.
Okay, so you're saying the same thing now as you said back then?
We all sat there, and when the idea come up, Chante would shake her head as a response.
Okay. But you said before T and Tay talked about burning them up and getting rid of the car. Was that an accurate statement, or was that untrue when you made that statement?
I can't really just recall it. You can just say it's untrue.
Okay. And in between giving this statement and testifying today, you've met with defense attorneys, haven't you?
Yes.
Talked about your testimony.
Right.
Okay. We weren't there at that meeting, were we?
No.
They went over the stuff you testified about today?
Yes.
And you talked about Cobb Park, and it seems you made some comments about it being a good place for the body to be found. Was that the idea? You wanted the body found?
Yes.
Okay. So did you call the police after putting the body there and make an anonymous call and say, there's a body in the park, go pick it up?
No, I didn't.
Okay. And were you at all concerned about kids finding the body?
Yes, I was.
And you know there's playground equipment within sight of where that body was left, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Okay. So as far as you knew when you left it there, kids could have been the ones that discovered it.
Kids don't go to that park until Sunday.
You knew for a fact that kids were not going to go to that park?
I knew the guys get to the park at 7 o'clock in the morning.
That wasn't my question. You knew
And I knew kids not gonna go play at that park at 7 o'clock in the morning.
So were you worried about kids finding the body, or you weren't worried about them finding the body?
I was.
As far as the position of the blanket, why didn't you leave them covered up with the blanket?
Because I took the blanket. Because I didn't want any DNA samples from her house to be found to link her to the crime.
You didn't want anything to link her to the crime.
Right.
Were you concerned about anything linking you to the crime?
I was more concerned about her and Tyrone than myself.
Okay. Were you concerned about the dignity of the person you left there? The body?
All I thought about, he was dead. It's not much I could do. If I could have gave him mouth-to-mouth resuscitation to save him, I could. If I could have gave him some blood, I would. At the time, I mean, he was already deceased, and my mind was just really one track. It wasn't all all these different possibilities and all these different, it was just basically a one decision. And it wasn't, I didn't stop to think, and none of us stopped to think, what if? We was scared, we panicked, and I just did what I thought that was best. He was already deceased.
So you panicked too?
Yeah, I did.
So when did you start panicking?
I had panicked from when I first saw it.
So from the time you first saw him, through the decisions about getting a car and taking the body out there, you were in a state of panic that whole time?
I wasn't in my right state of mind. All I was thinking, my mother got murdered, man, in 1980.
I didn't ask you that. My
You want to
question
know
was,
how my state of mind was.
My question was, were you in a state of panic from the moment that you saw the body in
I wasn't in my state.
Okay. And you didn't think it would have been better to cover him up some way instead of leaving him in the condition you left him in?
I left his jacket over him because he was still wearing his coat, and his coat was long enough to cover up his genitals.
And you saw the picture I showed you.
I saw him before.
And there's nothing covered up, is there?
No, not then. When you showed me the pictures, no. But when we left, his jacket was covering him up.
So you're saying someone else came along and moved it?
I'm not saying that. The wind could have blew and moved it. Anything could have happened. It's a lot of could have happened, but I know how we left him.
And you testified that T was not a good friend for Chante, not a good influence on her. Is that how I understand it?
Yes, sir.
But you are a good influence on her.
At the time, I was.
Okay. She knew you'd been to prison.
Yeah, she knew I've been to prison. But just because I've been to prison don't make my character bad neither. Everybody can change.
And certainly moving that body forward didn't affect your character at all either, did it?
At the time, I was thinking about other things.
Clearly. Pass the witness.
Real quick, Mr. Jackson, you did agree to talk to us, Mr. Wynn and I, didn't you?
Yes, sir.
And your lawyer was present with you, wasn't he?
Yes, sir, it was.
And he's right here today, isn't he, in court?
Yes, sir.
Right here on the front row. And he sat in there and he took very detailed notes of everything you said, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
And your lawyer told you that if Mr. Alford asked you a question, you tell him the absolute truth, didn't he?
Yes, sir.
And if we ask a question, you tell us the absolute truth.
Yes, sir.
And everything you told your lawyer and us and Mr. Alford and everything's the truth, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
That's all we have, Your Honor.
I have nothing further with this witness.
Ladies and gentlemen.
Good grief. Okay. So Carmen and I were talking about this. Let me grab the next video. Mr. Biggs did not pass away right away. It was 2 to 3 days. But the way that this was told, because I was like, send Carmen a message, did I miss something here? They made this to me that it wasn't clear. They kind of made it sound like all this happened in one night, that she called him, he came over, they go get Tyrone and whoever, but that's not what happened. So I was not clear on that part of it. That was not clear, because I'm kind of like, I don't know if he was really on the floor when he was getting him out of the car. That I don't know. If he was, did he, not to be gross, did he like slide on through as he passed away?
Are you playing another video?
Yeah, I've got one more.
How long is it?
An hour.
I probably won't stick around that long. My head is pounding.
That's fine.
I was hoping that Excedrin would help, but it's not. These lights aren't helping.
Well, you flashing them in your face probably didn't help either.
No, but I had a migraine before that.
I know.
I was hoping eating something was gonna help me out, but I'm saying it's maybe nauseous.
So the next video is, hey, what? Yeah, that is not what anything that I have read has said.
Well,
But yeah, I'm
I'm gonna
glad that.
I'm gonna let you play that. I'm gonna go lay down because I really don't feel very good.
Okay, that's fine. Go
So,
get some
all right,
sleep.
guys. I'll see you guys later. I'm sure I'll see you guys tomorrow.
All right, go get some sleep. Sleep it off.
See you.
Bye. I think he probably, when they found out that Chante was involved, because her friend Miranda had called 911 and basically told them what she knew, and that got them to Chante's house. It probably didn't take them long to connect the dots. He didn't say anybody turned him in. He just said he knew he's. They're like, when do you know you were in trouble? Well, I'm like, when the cuffs went on, probably. He was very clear. Yeah, I hope she feels better too. Thanks, guys. Sorry, I was behind. I'll put all these up so she can see them. So the guy that we are going to hear from next is the medical examiner. So it's going to be a lot of details, kind of what we heard yesterday of his injuries. He goes into more details, and then we'll call it good for that. Or he did the autopsy, because we also hear from we'll hear from a medical examiner tomorrow. Sorry. I'll get it straight one of these days. I don't know. I might, if you're lucky, but I wouldn't hold my breath. So thanks, you guys, for wishing her well. I appreciate it. I knew she wasn't feeling good. It's funny because remember how when I wasn't here and she's like, let's keep going, and I'm here, she's like, I'm leaving. Just kidding. All right, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, counsel for the state, you may call your next witness.
Your Honor, the state will call Nizam Perwani to the stand.
All right, let the record reflect this witness has been previously sworn. You may continue.
Thank you. Would you introduce yourself to the jury, please, doctor?
Certainly, yeah. My name is Nizam Pirwani. I'm a medical doctor. I'm a forensic pathologist, and I work here in this county as the county medical examiner.
Okay. In fact, are you the chief medical examiner?
Yes, sir.
And in that position, how many doctors do you support who do pathology?
We have 3 additional pathologists who work in Tarrant County.
Okay. And what is the total number of staff that you supervise in that position?
52, sir.
And is that just limited to Tarrant County that you do that work for? Or are there any neighboring counties you do that work for?
We are a district office. We serve 3 counties, including Denton, Parker, and Tarrant County.
Now, I take it there's some training and education you had to obtain before you became a medical examiner and a doctor.
Yes, sir.
Could you, starting with your undergraduate, tell the jury something about your educational background, please, sir?
Certainly. I did my undergrad studies at American University, graduating in '72 with a Bachelor of Science degree in biology and chemistry, and then an MD in '76. After that, I did 4 years of postgraduate training in pathology at Baylor Hospital in Dallas. I'm a board-certified pathologist with certification in 3 branches, including anatomic pathology, clinical pathology, and forensic pathology.
And are you licensed to practice in Texas?
Yes, sir.
And what professional appointments do you have?
Associate Professor of Pathology at the University of North Texas Health Science Center, Adjunct Professor at Baylor Hospital, as well as the American University in Lebanon.
And have you written or published any scientific papers in the area of pathology?
Yes, sir.
Could you name some of those, please?
I've written papers, published papers on the Waco incidents that took place in 1993 in Texas, and presented oral presentations at the Academy meeting as well as the National Association of Medical Examiners meeting in different subjects, including sudden deaths and traumatic injuries.
What was your role in the Waco incident?
In the Waco incidents, our office, in fact, investigated the killings and the death that took place in Waco.
Have there been any other mass disaster examinations or examinations that you've been involved in, even outside this country, that you can tell us about?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell me about some of those?
I've got involved in different jurisdictions under the auspices of PHR, Physicians for Human Rights, as well as United Nations. In that capacity, I worked in Guatemala investigating crimes against humanity there. The Rwanda genocide that took place in 1995, as well as the Bosnian genocide that took place during a period of years in early and mid-90s. I've done investigative work also in different countries, including Israel, the West Bank and Gaza, and Afghanistan, Indonesia, Cyprus.
And have you been recognized and qualified as an expert in courts in Texas?
Yes, sir.
What other states have you been qualified as an expert in?
The neighboring states, Louisiana, as well as Arkansas, Oklahoma.
And have you testified in federal courts?
Yes, sir.
And in fact, have you testified in international tribunals as well?
Yes, sir.
What professional organizations do you belong to?
I'm a fellow of the American Academy of Forensic Sciences, a fellow of the College of American Pathologists, the American Society of Clinical Pathologists, as well as a member of AMA, American Medical Association, our state medical association, the Tarrant County Medical Society, as well as the National Association of Medical Examiners.
And in your career, have you received any awards or special recognitions for your work?
Yes, sir.
Could you tell us some of those?
I've received recognition by the Attorney General's office in Texas 2 times, as well as recognition by the Federal Bureau of Investigation for handling of the Waco incidents.
As to your duties with the medical examiner's office, can you tell the jury what you do as the chief medical examiner in this county?
Yes, sir. I certainly have administrative responsibilities as the medical examiner. We do have a comprehensive laboratory system, including toxicology, a drug lab, and crime lab, in addition to the morgue and investigative area of the office. But I also do casework. I perform autopsies on a routine basis.
Okay. And could you tell the jury what this field that we're talking about, is that pathology?
Yes, sir.
Tell the jury what a pathologist is and what pathology involves.
Pathology is a subspecialty of medicine that deals with doing studies on human tissues, human fluids in labs, and examining tissues to determine diseases in the body. In a sense, a pathologist does the diagnostic work for attending physician in a hospital setting, and he supervises or she supervises the hospital laboratories. Part of the work of pathologist is also to perform autopsies in order to establish the cause of death. But what I really do is I really don't do any hospital pathology. I do strictly forensic pathology. And my job is to conduct inquest or inquiry into certain types of death that fall into our jurisdiction as defined by the state law.
And what types of deaths are those?
These are deaths where a person dies or suspicious of unnatural or dies of unnatural causes, dies unattended, dies within 24 hours of admission to a hospital, or dies in circumstances where the cause of death is not clear.
And how many, your best estimate, how many autopsies have you personally performed in your career?
It's hard to say. In the last 25 years, probably about 7,000 to 8,000 autopsies.
So when you're making your determination on these unknown or unnatural or I guess suspicious causes of death, do you just rely on your examination of the deceased, or do you rely on other information as well?
I rely on any information that's given to me, sir. I might not use that information, but I certainly will seek it if I can.
Okay. And what type of information would you typically receive in a case that involves a criminal investigation?
Obviously, I would get information from the crime scene investigation, the police investigation that subsequently occurs, a report from my investigator that goes out to the death scene. And if the person doesn't die and goes to a hospital, I would certainly look at the medical records.
And did you have an occasion in the month of October of 2001 to personally do an autopsy examination on one Gregory Biggs?
Yes, sir.
And can you tell me exactly when Mr. Biggs was brought to your office for examination?
He was brought to my office on the 27th day of October, sometime in the late afternoon or mid-afternoon rather. And I performed the autopsy the next day, which was October the 28th of 2001.
And does your office actually have investigators that go out to scenes when people are found under the suspicious circumstances?
Yes, sir.
And did such an investigator go out on this occasion?
Yes, sir.
And so did you have details regarding the circumstances where Mr. Biggs' body was found and the condition it was in before you actually received the body or concurrently receiving the body at the medical examiner's office?
Yes, sir.
And was there anything about the information you received that allowed you to make any conclusions about where the body was found and whether or not that was where the body, where the person was killed?
Yes, sir, I did, sir.
And could you tell us about that?
Obviously, the place the body was found, the scene of the discovery of the body was not consistent with having sustained injuries there. The pattern of lividity, the absence of any evidence around the scene suggests that the body was most probably dumped where the body was discovered.
Okay, and you've started using terms that I'm not completely familiar with. Lividity. Would you tell the jury something about what you mean when you say the pattern of lividity was not?
Yes, sir. The lividity is nothing but post-mortem pooling of blood. Once a person dies, the heart stops beating and the blood begins to settle down. And it collects or pools in the dependent portions of the body. Obviously, if the person has been lying on the back, the blood pools on the back. If the person is lying on the face down, then the blood is the front portion of the body. So it's nothing but a simple post-mortem gravitational phenomena that occurs after the heart stops beating.
So is a person with your qualifications able, when you examine a body and looking for the presence and where lividity exists, able to tell whether the person was, for instance, face down or on their back at the time they died?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And Mr. Biggs' body, when it was found, and did your information indicate it was found in Cobb's Park?
Yes, sir.
And when the body was found in the park, was he on his back or on his stomach, face down?
He was on his back, sir.
Okay. And where did lividity tell you, what position did the lividity tell you he was in at the time of his death?
He certainly had a slight displace to lividity on his back, but that was rather insignificant. His predominant lividity pattern was in the front portion of the body, implying that for a while after he had died, he laid face down, and then he was shifted and placed on his back.
And if I understand the way you describe lividity, that does not begin setting in until the person has died. All organs stop functioning, no beating of the heart, correct?
Yes, sir.
And does lividity tell you anything about how the person might have moved or how their body position might have changed while they were alive for some period of time between the time they received the injury and the time of death?
No, sir, it cannot.
Okay. And while we're talking about lividity, let me move on and ask you about something called rigor mortis. What is rigor mortis?
Rigor mortis is a stiffening of the body after a person dies. It's again a simple chemical reaction in the muscles where the muscle fibers are locked together after a person dies, and the body becomes stiff after death, after some variable time, and will stay stiff until the body begins to decompose. And once the body begins to putrefy or decompose, the body again then becomes flaccid.
Okay. So a live body or a body right after death, for instance, let's say that my arm is, I'm leaning against something, my arm's in this position. I take it right after I've died, if I was moved, the arm would move and could fall down. But after a certain period of time, my arm is going to become fixed in this position.
Yes, if it's supported in that position, it would, otherwise it would certainly fall down.
So if my body was found dead on my back and my arm was up like this, what would you be able to conclude about the position of my body at the time of death?
That in fact your arm was in that position when you died and stayed there and for some hours and the rigor had set in.
And as with the lividity, can the fact that body parts or parts of the body are in certain positions at the time rigor sets in, does that tell you whether or not those body parts or parts of the body had moved or were in different positions while the person was still alive from the time of the injury to the time of their death?
I'm sorry, can you say that again? I just want to be certain you asked me. I answered you right.
The position, the fact that my arm is like this at the time of my death, can you take from that what position the arm was in while I was still alive?
No, sir, you can't, sir.
Okay. May I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
As he approaches, Gabby, thank you so much for the super stickers. One is a upside down smiley face. Wish StreamYard would fix that so I could display them over here. And the other is a winky face. And I'm surprised she did not give me her usual one, even though I've learned how to do it now. And I don't accidentally do the shocker anymore. Just one time. But thanks, Gabby. Appreciate it. All right, this is not going to get better. I will tell you that now, especially when he starts getting into the injuries. It's not necessarily graphic. It's just sad. What's going on? All right. I'm scared I'm going to put it back to the beginning again. Spoke too soon. Thanks, Gabby. I do not do the shocker anymore. Yes. Yes, that one. Yes, Sue, Frank, he likes divorce. He thinks they're beautiful. So no, I'm not doing a 24-hour stream. Yes, it is important to know. Yeah. It's just rough. It is rough. And we do hear from another medical examiner tomorrow. So we'll get to hear it twice, I guess.
Doctor, in the course of performing the autopsy examination you did, and after performing that examination, is it standard practice for you to create diagrams indicating where injuries were located on the body in your examination?
Yes, sir.
And you did that in this case?
Yes, sir.
I'm showing you what's been marked for identification as State's Exhibit number 107 and State's Exhibit 108. Yes, sir. Do you recognize these diagrams?
I do, sir.
And are these actually blow-ups of the diagrams and your notes as to this particular autopsy of Gregory Biggs?
Yes, sir.
And would it aid you in describing the injuries you observed from Mr. Biggs to this jury to have used these two diagrams?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we would offer into evidence State's Exhibit 107 and 108.
No objection.
All right, State's Exhibits 107 and 108 will be admitted.
And Doctor, I want to show you some photographs. Is it standard practice in an autopsy exam to take photographs of the deceased?
Yes, sir.
And would those photographs should be able to show and help explain the different type of injuries you observed?
Yes, sir.
I'm going to show you State's Exhibit 92, 94, 95, 96, I have order here, 93, and 97, and 98.
Yes, sir.
You recognize those photographs?
Yes, sir.
And are those photographs that were taken during the autopsy performed on Mr. Biggs?
Yes, sir.
And will the use of those photographs help you explain your testimony to the juries today?
Yes, sir.
We would offer into evidence State's Exhibit 93, 94, 92, 95, 96, 97, and 98 in evidence.
We have no objections to these, Your Honor.
All right, State's Exhibits 92, 93, 94, 95, 96, 97, and 98 will be admitted.
Your Honor, with the court's permission, I'd like the witness to step down so I can have him refer to the diagrams I'm going to have in the pedestal.
You may please just keep your voice up for Brenda.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I'm going to step around.
You may.
Dr. Irwani, what I want to do is I want to go through the various injuries that are described on the front and back body charts that are on this exhibit. And I want to ask you questions about the different injuries described on those. And what I'd like to do is just basically start at the head and work our way down.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so starting at the head, facing forward, and I think I've asked this, but these,
I think
they're
they're
asking to
asking
stand.
to
This one? How's that? Okay. All right, let me try to move it over here. Okay, doctor, again, these are injuries that you observed on the person of Gregory Biggs, so you said you performed the autopsy on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, and starting with the top of the head, what is the first injury indicated on that exhibit?
What we have in the right forehead is a gliding abrasion measuring 3 by 2 inches.
And what do you mean by a gliding abrasion? How is that caused?
Implying that in fact the body came into contact with the hard surface and the skin was rubbed away, was scratched.
Okay. And as we go through these injuries, I'm going to be asking you about how serious they were and whether or not those injuries were life-threatening.
Yes, sir.
And I'll start with this one.
No.
How serious an injury was that?
No, sir. This was not at all serious injury. In fact, it appeared to be a perimortal or post-mortal injury. There was insignificant bleeding or very, very slight bleeding, and the injury appeared yellow and of no great consequence.
What does it mean when you say post-mortem injury?
Implying that it occurred after the person had passed away.
And how can you tell from examining the body whether an injury was post-mortem, and would the opposite of that be anti-mortem?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Well, sometimes it's hard, but the concept is simple that in fact, if you die, your heart does not beat anymore, and therefore you do not bleed significantly in the soft tissues. You may ooze blood if the body is in a dependent portion and there's a cut in the body, but generally speaking, such injuries do not show any signs of bleeding, and this was the case in the right forehead injury on Mr. Biggs.
So in simple terms, Mr. Biggs' body was bruised in the forehead after he was already deceased?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the next injury we see on there?
What we are seeing are rather deep curvilinear scratches on his right flank, extending from his right thorax, right chest, across his pelvis into his right thigh area. These were about 14 inches by 3 inches in total aggregated dimensions.
And were there any foreign particles found in those injuries?
I looked for them. They were in an adjacent area, in fact, in the pelvic area, and what I discovered was small fragments or shards of glasses.
Okay. So how would that type of injury, in your opinion, be caused to that part of the body?
I think certainly very much consistent with injury produced by a broken glass.
And Dr. Kirwani, in the course of your autopsy examination, did you get pictures taken by the police department of an automobile? Did you get a description of the automobile and what was found in it?
Yes, sir.
And did you also have an opportunity to read a statement that was given by one Chante Mallard to the police department?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And so you understand what the allegations are about where that body was?
Yes, sir.
And how do you understand the body had came to have contact with glass?
It's my understanding that in fact the body came into contact with glass after having been struck by a car, and the body had lodged in the windshield of the car.
Okay. And are those injuries that you described there, are they consistent with what could have been caused by the body being scraped as it went through that windshield?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What is the next injury you see on there?
The next injury is along the pelvic or the lower abdominal area. These are both the deep linear as well as gliding abrasions, and they are in a horizontal fashion. They're consistent again with some sort of a blunt impact injury. They have left a pattern, what we call a patent linear abrasion, but they have also a slight gliding component to it. they are cutaneous injuries. There were no underlying internal trauma to the pelvic organs.
So they were just surface injuries?
Yes, sir.
And were there any foreign particles found in that?
I didn't really see embedded in the tissue, but there was a lot of glass that was scattered around that area.
And what is the next injury you see?
The next injury was an area along the left groin, and they were what we call typically a stretch abrasion. A stretch abrasion is the skin that is splitting up because the body is being contorted or the shape is changed on impact. And these are also insignificant as far as the internal injuries are concerned. They were localized in an area 2 by 1 inch.
Okay. Let's go to the right thigh and right leg now. What is the first injury indicated on that?
The right thigh had a simple fracture. The fracture was localized at 23.5 inches above his right heel. And there was certainly an overlying area where there was tissue injury or cutaneous injuries with contusions and abrasions. And there was hemorrhage in the soft tissues of the right thigh.
Okay. And when you say hemorrhage, that's bleeding?
Yes, sir.
And a fracture in lay terms, is that a broken bone?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And was that a life-threatening injury?
Femur fractures can sometimes bleed significantly, and if unattended, may cause some severe consequences. But it takes a long time to do that.
Okay. What do you call a long time?
Many hours, 15, 20, 24 hours, 1-2 days.
Okay. What is the next injury indicated on that leg?
The next injury was, in fact, localized to his lower leg, about 5.5 inches above his right heel. These were 2 fractures, simple fractures of his right tibia and right fibula. These were broken bones of his shin bones of his right lower leg.
And what is the phrase, what does the term simple mean?
The word simple implies that there is no disruption of the skin overlying the injury. When we use the word compound, it implies that there is a tear of the skin overlying the fracture site.
So for instance, a compound might be where the bone is actually broken bone and it's broken through it's being exposed to the skin.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Are there any other injuries on that leg?
Yes, he does. He did have, in fact, contusion around his ankle area on the foot, and there were some very focal, insignificant scratches of his dorsal right foot.
Okay. And let's go to, we talked about the back of the arms before we got down to the legs there.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Which arm are you going to talk about first?
The right side, sir.
And what is visible there?
The right distal arm had an open fracture, a compound fracture of the right humerus, the right arm bone overlying the right elbow joint, and there was a small laceration in that vicinity overlying there. And there were some abrasions adjacent to the area of injury.
Okay. And on the other arm?
On the other arm, I did note an abrasion on the left elbow area, about 1.5 by 1 inch.
And are there some abrasions on the hand of that arm as well?
Yes, sir.
And where are those located?
There are abrasions on his hand. In fact, they are on both the hands along the wrist joint, the left side, extending along the radial or the inner border of the arm to his dorsal hand. And there were similar areas on the right side.
And let's move to the left leg now. First injuries visible, working your way down on that leg.
Yes, sir. He had multiple abrasions around his knee. Some of them were linear and some irregular in nature. And really, they were cutaneous or surface injuries of no great significance. The knee was not fractured. However, what he had was a near total amputation of his left leg. The site of amputation was 15 inches above his left heel. And the left leg was held in place by strands of tissue or muscle tissue along the back portion of the posterior portion and the skin. The muscles were all mangled, macerated, and there was shearing and avulsion of the tissues as well as the blood vessels of his left leg.
And I take it this is a serious injury?
Yes, sir.
And this injury was directly related to the cause of death?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other injuries on that leg?
And then he had some patchy contusions and abrasions of his dorsal left hand. Again, They were significant in the sense that he had come into contact and had injured himself, but they were not significant as far as his death is concerned.
And on State's Exhibit number 108, what injuries are visible here?
The State's 108, in fact, is a half view of his head. And what I discovered was a mid-parietal laceration, and a Wells laceration, implying that the forces producing the laceration were tangential to the body surface. And there was surrounding abrasion of the tissue. He had come into contact in a tangent, not direct impact, frontal impact. This certainly occurred when he was alive. There was hemorrhage, and there was hemorrhage beneath the scalp, but there was no trauma to the skull. There was no trauma to the cranial bones, and there was no hemorrhage or injury to the brain. So, in fact, this was again a scalp injury without significant cranial or cerebral trauma.
Now, Dr. Wall, I have you standing. I'd like to go ahead and talk about these pictures. With the court's permission, if you can step over here with the jury. And what I want to do is, since the pictures are rather small, I want you to explain briefly what the picture shows, and we're going to focus on this group of jurors right here, and then we're going to move on down so you can repeat the explanation.
All right, sir.
And we're going to start with State's Exhibit 92. What do we see in State's Exhibit 92?
The State's Exhibit 92 is the right profile of the face of Mr. Biggs, and the picture depicts this large area of abrasion of the right forehead. And as you can see in the picture, there is.
I don't believe they will show the pictures, but I don't know, because if the camera can get a glimpse of them, they will. So just be aware, because I don't know.
Some linear aspect to it, implying it's a tangential area of contact, or it's a glancing injury. But the most significant thing is that there is no significant hemorrhage. It is yellow and parchment-like in appearance, implying it's a perimortal post-mortem injury.
An injury that occurred after his death?
Yes, sir.
Okay, if you could repeat that explanation for the second part.
Again, I want to focus on the right side of the face, the right forehead, and this is the area of focus that we are seeing. This is a gliding abrasion with rather insignificant hemorrhage in yellow parchment-like discoloration of the tissue.
Turning to State's Exhibit number 93, could you tell the jury what this shows and what's significant about this, the injury shown in this picture?
State's 93 really is a picture of the torso and the front portion of the body. And there are a couple of things that are significant here. Perhaps the most important thing is that there is pooling of blood, or what we refer to as the lividity, on the front portion of the body. There is significant around the face. There's a pale area here on the nasal or the nose surface, as well as underlying the nose. And this implies that this was an area of contact or contact pallor. But he also, the picture also depicts the linear patterned as well as gliding abrasion of his pelvic area that we discussed on the diagram.
Okay, if you could repeat that for the second part of the panel.
Yes, sir. State's 93 again is a torso of the anterior portion of the body, the chest, the abdomen, and the face, and you can see this dark discoloration of the face and the abdomen. This is the lividity we talked about. Then we have areas of paleness here in the nasal portion. Underlying is his nose, as well as focally the chin area and the chest here. And then he has this linear abrasion and gliding abrasion of his pelvis that we talked about.
Thank you, Dr. Okay, the next photograph is State's Exhibit number 94. And what is represented in this photograph that's significant?
The State's 94 is a picture of his left arm, and basically shows an area of abrasion that we mentioned in the diagram. This is the left arm with the area of abrasion that you see here.
And I'm going to jump to State's Exhibit number 98 and ask you what is shown in that photograph.
The State's 98 is a picture of the top of the head, and the picture shows this laceration that you see here. It's a valsed laceration with the skin being scratched in a tangential fashion, implying this is a tangential or a glancing blow to the head. This is the top of the head, the mid-parietal area, maybe slightly to the right of the midline, and this is the laceration that we talked about.
Next, I want you to talk about State's Exhibit number 97.
Yes, sir. The State's 97 is the left flank of the body. This is the this area would be the left armpit, and going down to the groin area, we are seeing these deep gouges on the left flank extending to the pelvic rim, the rim of the pelvic or hip bone, and going into the left side of the thigh. You can see this little triangular cubical fragments of refractile fragments. These are glass fragments that were found around the pelvic and the abdominal area. This is a picture of his left flank. These are the deep gouges that are produced on the left side, extending to the pelvic area and the left thigh. And these are the refractile glass fragments that you see in this picture.
Now, Doctor, the next one, State's Exhibit number 96, is somewhat more graphic. This is going to be indicating the injury to the leg that was nearly severed. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And if you would again tell them what is visible in that and what the significance of those injuries is.
Yes, sir. This is in fact the left leg of Mr. Biggs, and it is a mangled left lower extremity with near total amputation. The leg is being really held in place just by strands of muscle tissue on the back portion and skin on the back side. As you can see in this picture, most of the soft tissue, the muscles, the tibialis and other muscles are all torn, as were the blood vessels that supply the left lower extremity.
You could repeat that for a second.
This is the left lower extremity, the leg with near total amputation. You see the macerated tissue, the muscles are all torn apart, as were the blood vessels leading to the left lower extremity. The leg was held in place on the back portion. This is the front and the medial side, or the inner side of the left leg. It's held in the back side just by the skin and strands of muscle tissue.
Thanks, Doctor. You can have a seat. Dr. Pirwani, are there, in terms of the cause of death, are there certain categories that you look to when you're doing an autopsy when determining cause of death?
You mean how we classify that, sir?
That would be probably a better way of phrasing it. How do you classify it?
Generally, the deaths in Texas are classified under 5 categories. The first is natural deaths, people who die of natural causes, cancer, heart disease, chronic lung disease, liver failures. Then we have those that are accidental in nature, where a person injures himself accidentally or somebody else causes that injury, but not because of negligence or intentional injury. Then the third category is suicide, where in fact a person chooses to die and kills himself or herself with the clear intention of dying. And the fourth category is a homicide, where a person is killed by another person, where in fact a person has intention of killing, or because of criminal negligence, the person dies. That, of course, includes the justifiable homicide, when the police officer shoots a person. That's still a homicide. And finally, there's a category where the medical examiner is not absolutely certain as to where he should classify the death. The state does allow us to use the fifth type, which is the undetermined type. And finally, there is one additional category, which is in parentheses, is called a pending category. The state also permits us to make the ruling as pending until such time we have sufficient way to decide how to go about making a formal ruling or final ruling or interim ruling.
Okay. And when you first did the autopsy examination of Mr. Biggs in October of 2001, what was your initial finding?
As far as the cause of death or the manner of death, sir?
Tell me both.
Well, the cause of death was established at the end of the autopsy, and we had decided the cause was due to multiple injuries that he had sustained in an autopedestrian collision.
And the manner?
The manner of death initially, when the death certificate was filed with the state of Texas, it was left as pending investigation for some time.
Okay. And do you know at what date it went from a pending status to you putting something else down in that category?
Yes, sir. The pending status was filed with the state of Texas as required within 10 days of performance of the autopsy. And in this particular case, the death certificate, was filed on 29th of October, which is a couple of days after I performed the autopsy.
And what was it changed to on that date?
Then in January of 2002, we changed that in fact, January 7th of 2002, I filed an amended death certificate which stated could not be determined.
Now, when you filed in January the undetermined classification, had you received any additional information resulting from police investigation regarding the circumstances of his death?
No, sir.
Okay. At some point after that, did you receive additional information?
Yes, sir, I did.
And as a result of reviewing that information and comparing it to your findings, did you change the manner of death?
Yes, sir, I did.
And what did you change it to?
I changed that to homicide on March the 8th of 2002.
Now, you've described a number of injuries to Mr. Biggs' person that resulted in this auto-pedestrian collision. I want to ask you about the different body systems, the neurological, respiratory, cardiovascular. Was there any neurological damage done to Mr. Biggs that was life-threatening by the impact of this vehicle in his body?
No, sir. So
how is it that the abrasion that you've indicated and shown the jury that is on his head, the pre-death injury, is that consistent with his head making contact with the windshield?
Probably, yes, sir.
Why was it that that blow itself did not cause any brain injury, in your opinion?
A couple of reasons. Number one is not a direct impact injury. It's a glancing blow to the head. And perhaps what is more likely in this particular case is that his impact was broken by other injuries that he sustained. Certainly, he could have broken his impact with striking his elbow or his extremity on the frame of the windshield, and this would have taken away a lot of the kinetic energy the body possessed, and therefore did not produce any significant cranial or brain trauma.
So as I understand, one scenario that you think is consistent with the findings is that there was an arm that hit the car and took some of the blow before the head hit the windshield?
Yes, sir. As you know, he did have, in fact, a fracture of his left arm. I'm sorry, of his right arm.
And is that consistent with that scenario?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And what about the respiratory system? Was there any damage to his lungs, anything that you found that would have precluded his ability to breathe that could have contributed to his death?
No, sir. There was no injury at all to his lungs or to his chest wall. There was no impairment of his mechanism of breathing. There was no injury to the diaphragm or to the ribs or to the chest wall or to the lungs.
Okay. What about the heart? Was there any damage to the heart that you found?
No, sir. The heart, as well as the major blood vessels that emanate from the heart, the aorta, the pulmonary trunk, and all the major branches were all intact. So there was no damage to the chest organs, including the heart and the cardiovascular system.
And did you look to see whether he was suffering, there was any sign of him having suffered from hypertension during his life?
I certainly examined and dissected the heart. His heart was within a normal size, weighed about 370 grams. So there was no evidence of any hypertrophy of his heart muscles. And the coronary arteries were dissected. And they were, in fact, widely patent. He did not have any significant hardening of his arteries of any sort.
So did you see any sign of him suffering any life-threatening illness at the time of his death?
No, sir.
Okay. Now we get to the vascular system, and I take it that is the system that suffered the trauma that was the major cause of his death.
The peripheral vascular system, yes, sir.
Okay. And can you tell me, is there another way to phrase basically, is it basically that he bled to death? Is that what he died of?
Yes, sir.
And is that called hemorrhagic shock?
Yes, sir.
Can you tell the jury something about when the body sustains the type of trauma that we have here, how the body reacts to that trauma?
I suppose you are implying the injury that he sustained to his vascular structures of his left leg. Is that?
Yes, the near total amputation injury.
Yes, sir. As the body begins to lose blood, the body invokes certain defense mechanisms. The body will preserve the vital organs by shunting blood away from certain areas of the body to the more important vital centers in the body. As such, you see a person who begins to go into what we call a shock state or hemorrhagic shock state, has pale skin and cold and clammy hands because of the shunting of blood away from his skin, mucous membranes, his cutaneous structures, and also from the viscera of the abdominal organs, such as his bowels, and the blood then is shunted to the heart, the lung, the brain, which are the vital centers. So there is a cardiovascular response that takes place. In addition to the cardiovascular response, the body will also invoke at the site of injury local defense mechanisms. There is what you call a coagulation cascade initiation, whereby a plug is formed. Depending upon how large the vessel is, a plug may be formed very quickly and may in fact stop the blood loss. But there is also spasm or vasospasms of the arteries that are severed or injured. These are all local phenomena that take place. In addition, of course, as the blood collects in the tissues, it produces a hematoma. So the hematoma can also compress the area of injury. So these are localized events that take place. And then you have, of course, other events more remote from the injury site and the heart and blood vessels. You have the kidneys that play a role. As the blood pressure begins to drop, the kidneys will evoke a response and produce a small chemical called renin, and this will initiate a system whereby, in fact, there is a larger chemical moiety produced that is broken down, and that will then cause the blood vessels to constrict. There is what we call narrowing of the blood vessels in order to increase the blood pressure, and there is increase in the heart rate, tachycardia that takes place, and there is preservation of fluid loss to the kidneys because of resorption of the fluids. In addition to that, you can also have a endocrine response in the body. Endocrine response, neuroendocrine response. The brain will produce a hormone from the pituitary gland. It's called the ADH, antidiuretic hormone, and that hormone, in fact, is very important in producing or reducing the fluid loss to the kidney. So there are multiple different ways in which the body responds in shock. It all depends how much blood has been lost, whether it's an early stage or a late stage of shock.
And is there, in terms of the condition, is there some kind of range that you can tell us about how much blood loss a person can sustain and survive?
Well, it all depends how healthy a person is and how young he is.
How old was this person?
He was a fairly young man. He was 37 years of age. He had no significant cardiac pathology or respiratory pathology, so one can say that he was a healthy young man.
Okay.
You can theoretically lose as much as 40-50% and not die. Obviously, class 4, classification 4 of a shock is from the trauma standpoint means that you lost over 40% of your blood volume, in which case you do go into a very shock state. Your heart is beating fast. You have lowering of the blood pressure. You're cold. You're somnolent or sleepy, but you can survive that for a while until at such time you go into a cardiogenic shock and die, literally because there's no blood being pumped in the body.
Is there a maximum amount of blood that you would say can be lost and still survive, after which, of course, you would not be able to survive?
As I said, generally 40% and above is considered a serious blood loss, but there are a lot of reported incidences where you can lose up to 2/3 your blood and still survive.
Did you personally find yourself in a situation one time where you lost a considerable amount of your blood?
Yes, sir.
And how much did you lose?
I dropped my hemoglobin from 15 grams to 5 grams. That's about 2/3 blood loss.
2/3 blood loss?
Yes, sir.
And obviously you survived.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And is there, how are you able to determine, if you can, a range of time, a person who has sustained the type of injuries that Mr. Biggs did that you found in your examination, is there a range of time you can give me by which it is medically and scientifically possible that he could have survived without any kind of medical treatment or intervention?
Yes. He did not have injuries, what we call instantaneously fatal injuries. He did not have any spinal cord trauma, no brain trauma, no major cardiac lacerations or laceration to aorta or major blood vessels. He certainly has serious injuries and theoretically could have survived for many hours. There are a lot of different studies reported in literature on landmine accidents, traumatic injuries, high velocity gunshot injuries that I've investigated in Israel and West Bank, where patients have survived for 6, 10, 12 hours unattended medically.
So there is support in the literature that a person can survive a number of hours having sustained the type of injuries involved here.
Yes, sir.
But you do not have the ability to say exactly to the minute how long Mr. Biggs did survive.
No, sir.
Okay. What conclusions have you made, or can you tell us about the manner in which Mr. Biggs was struck, as to where he was struck, and anything regarding the speed of the vehicle that struck him in this case?
Well, the way he was lodged in the windshield implies, and the type of injury sustained implies that most probably his left lower extremity where he was stuck was a weight-bearing lower extremity, probably was walking. He does not have equal fractures on both the extremities, so to speak. He does have fracture of his right shin bones, tibia and fibula, but they're not at the same distance from the heel. It's quite possible that he was walking. His left leg was a weight-bearing leg when he was struck by the car, the bumper. There are many different factors that play a role in deciding what happens at the time of impact. If the car is driving slowly, or if the fast-driving car is slowing down because of brake, then the points of impact may be lower in the extremity. Also, such a person may be literally run over, especially if he's not very tall, like a child. When the speed increases from being very slow to extremely fast, and a person is, and the car is not braking, the body on impact is clearly thrown over the hood and may fall many yards away from the site of impact. In between what I call a medium velocity, maybe 30 or 40 miles, the body is lifted up and may hit the hood of the car and frequently strike the windshield and then either slide away or very, very occasionally literally get lodged in the windshield or inside the inner compartments of the car, land inside the inner compartments of the car.
So I want to make sure I understand. So would your opinion would be is that the vehicle that struck him was neither going very slow or extremely fast?
Yes, I can say that's certainly a good description.
Okay. And when you talk about weight-bearing leg versus non-weight-bearing leg and the different injuries, the weight-bearing leg is the left leg that has the fatal injury, the severing, and if both legs had been on the ground and been weight bearing, then you would have seen similar or consistent injuries in the same spots?
Certainly it would be equidistant, more or less, and they will be of similar of severity, unless, of course, it's an injury that occurred from an angle and not a frontal impact, in which case only one extremity is exposed to the bumper.
Are you able to tell whether he was facing towards, away, or to the side at the time of impact based on the injuries you observed?
Well, he has really no area of skin or cutaneous compression points on the backside at all, and most of the injury is frontal. I suspect it's a slightly angled injury, certainly frontal impact.
And I think you said that he did not die immediately upon impact. How are you able to say with any certainty that he did not die immediately upon impact?
Obviously, this is based on the fact that he does not have injury patterns that are consistent with instantaneous death. And we mentioned some of those: cervical spinal injuries, brain trauma, cardiovascular injury, heart injury, and major arterial laceration, especially to the trunk of the pulmonary artery as well as aorta. The other injuries will lead to death if not medically attended, but will take time to. The death will take time to occur.
I take it that a person is no longer bleeding after they have died.
Well, they may ooze blood gravitationally, but they don't bleed in the sense of there's no heart beating anymore.
And may I approach, Your Honor?
You may.
You have read the statement that was taken from Chante Mallard, have you not?
Yes, sir.
And you've had a chance to compare the contents of that statement with your findings in this case.
Yes, sir.
I want to ask you a hypothetical situation. If we have a situation where we have an auto pedestrian collision with the same type of injuries that you've talked about and you found in this case involving Mr. Biggs, and we know that the injuries would have been sustained sometime between 251 and 350, and that we know that Chante Mallard is going to be leaving the presence of Mr. Biggs after 350. Is her comments in her statement about speaking to and hearing sounds coming from Mr. Biggs indicating he was alive?
Yes, sir.
Is there anything inconsistent from your findings with that being possible?
No, sir.
Is there anything that would have prevented him through his injuries from being able to speak or attempt speech during that time period in that first hour?
Obviously, he would have been in severe excruciating pain, and he would go into early shock very quickly. But there is nothing that would have prevented him unless he was wedged in a position in the car where he couldn't speak. But otherwise, there is no reason why he couldn't moan and groan.
Is there anything based upon his injuries that would have prevented him from moving or trying to extricate himself from any position in the car in that first hour?
Yes, he has a near total amputation. He's trapped in the car. He's stuck in the car. It's kind of hard to get out of that.
I'm talking about his upper extremities. Would he have been able to move his hands, his arms, be able to grip, reach?
No, there is no neurological damage to the spine. I don't see why he couldn't move his arms.
Do you very often see individuals in the course of performing autopsies that have this type of cause of death, where a person without any other organ injuries has simply just bled to death?
Objection, Your Honor, relevant.
Overruled.
Yes, certainly we have people who die of hemorrhagic shock, not in the exact same fashion that we have here in the case of Mr. Biggs. But we do have cases where people exsanguinate and die of natural causes, traumatic causes, and other causes. And depending upon where the injury has occurred, what kind of organ is initially injured, the death can be very fast, instantaneous, or fast or quick, or it could be a slower process.
Do you have an opinion as to whether or not Mr. Biggs, if he'd received medical attention, could have been saved from these injuries that killed him?
Yes, sir.
And what is that opinion?
That he could have been saved. Yes, sir.
How would you define a medically oriented person?
A medically oriented person?
Yes, what would that phrase mean to you?
Well, a medically oriented person is somebody who's been exposed to the medical science. Perhaps a person has been trained as a nurse, or certainly a doctor is a medically oriented person. Person who has received some life support system, basic life support, CPR training. Such a person would be medically oriented.
Do you believe a medically oriented person who had contact with Mr. Biggs soon after he sustained these injuries would have been able to recognize how serious those injuries were?
I would hope so, yes, sir.
And do you believe a medically oriented person would have known what needs to be done in terms of attempts to save the life of that person?
Yes, sir. The basic thing would be to get help to begin with.
Okay. Does a medically oriented person know the use of a tourniquet, in your opinion?
Yes, sir.
Dr. Kirwani, prior to testifying, I handed you States Exhibit 186, 187, and 188, which have been previously admitted into evidence as being records of employment and regarding training of Chante Mallard. Have you reviewed these records? Yes, sir. And you know the records I'm talking about?
Yes, sir, I have, sir.
And having reviewed those records and familiarizing yourself with the training and certifications that Chante Mallard had, would she fall under your definition as a medically oriented person?
Yes, sir.
Do you have an opinion as to whether or not the act of continuing to drive that motor vehicle with Mr. Biggs lodged in the windshield would have aggravated this condition?
Yes, sir, I do.
And what is that opinion?
It certainly would have aggravated the condition.
And why is that? How can you say that?
Well, he's not anchored well. Motions of the car, accelerations, turning around the corners or stopping would shift the body and would cause more injury to his unsupported, nearly amputated lower extremity and perhaps increase his vascular trauma and injury.
Do you have an opinion as to whether or not the act of trying to push or pull him out of the windshield of that car within minutes of striking him would have aggravated this condition?
Yes, sir.
And what is that opinion?
And that would have certainly also caused similar types of increase in damage to the tissues.
Now, the very serious injury that you showed them a photograph of the left leg, are you able to tell whether any of that vascular tearing happened after impact or not? In other words, once the bone and skin are cut, can improper moving of the leg or the body cause further tearing of those veins and arteries?
Yes, certainly. It's distinctly possible, sir.
Do you have an opinion as to whether or not the act of driving the car in which Mr. Biggs was lodged and into a garage and closing the door of that garage was an act clearly dangerous to his life?
Yes, sir, in the sense that there was no help asked, certainly.
Okay. In fact, do you think his odds of receiving help would have been better if he'd been left alongside the roadway?
That's called for speculation, Your Honor. There's no evidence to support that statement.
Overruled. You can answer the question, Doctor.
Certainly, in an enclosed garage, nobody's going to observe an injured person. In open space, there's a more chance somebody might observe a person and ask for help.
Or at least some chance. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Do you have an opinion as to whether or not the act of driving Mr. Biggs to a garage while he was alive and leaving him in the garage and not giving him medical attention contributed to his cause of death?
Yes, sir.
And what is your opinion?
It certainly did, sir.
And again, do you have an opinion as to whether or not the manner in which the automobile driven by Chante Mallard and the manner in which it was used to transport him to that garage and the condition he was in, was that a deadly weapon?
Yes, sir.
And you're familiar with the legal definition of deadly weapon, are you
Yes,
not?
sir.
And the cause of death ultimately that you found in this case?
The cause of death medically was described as multiple traumatic injuries sustained in an auto-pedestrian collision.
And the manner of death?
The ultimate amended manner of death was filed as homicide, sir.
Pass the witness.
Ladies and gentlemen,
if I don't pause, Carmen's going to have probably a heart attack on me because she's going to be like, you've let it go too long without talking. We have about, I think, 10 minutes left. Cross-examine. It's not that long. Thank goodness. What I didn't play for you today, but you've not missed anything, was the defense asked this guy questions for almost 40 minutes before they brought the jury in. And I was like, seriously, why are we doing this? But the state pretty much asked the question. So that's why I kind of scanned through it a little bit. I didn't see the whole picture part. So that's why I wanted to warn you there. But we didn't miss anything. And the defense was the defense and asking questions that were just dumb for the defense to be asking. But here we go. Last 10 minutes.
Take a morning break. We'll go with bailiff. Counselor, you may continue.
Morning, Dr. Lonnie. Morning, sir. I want to talk to you first about lividity. Essentially, what you've told us is that Mr. Biggs died face down, and that at some point after he died, he was moved over to his back, correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Next, I want to talk to you about that near traumatic amputation on the left leg.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That was an extremely serious injury, correct?
It certainly was, sir.
In fact, you've described that as mangling of the lower left leg.
Yes, sir.
All the bone was completely busted,
Yes, sir.
and all that was holding that leg on was a little piece of flesh
And the skin, yes.
and the skin. Okay. May I approach the witness, Your Honor?
You may.
Dr. Warren, I'm handing you what's previously been marked as Defense Exhibit 13. Do you recognize that?
Yes, sir.
What is it?
It's a diagram that I drew pertaining to Mr. Biggs' case, sir.
And is it a diagram of the near amputation of the left leg?
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, I've previously tendered this to the state. Would offer it at this time?
We have no objection, Your Honor.
All right, defense exhibit number 13 will be admitted.
And Dr. Pirwani, in fact, that near traumatic amputation was so severe, you drew an individual diagram of it in addition to the two diagrams that we've already seen, correct?
Yes, sir.
And it's pretty clear to you that that near traumatic amputation is where the vast majority of the blood Mr. Biggs lost came from, correct?
Yes, sir.
Now, you also talked about it was possible that there was further tearing if someone tried to move him, correct?
That's certainly possible, yes, sir.
But essentially, you don't know.
I can't say with certainty, no, sir.
There's no scientific way to tell if all of that near traumatic amputation happened upon impact with the car, or some of it happened and some of it happened later, correct?
Well, I can't say so, no, sir.
Okay. Now, I want to talk to you about that. You talked about, the prosecutor asked you about tried to pull him out. In that, the question they asked you, tried to pull him out of the car, could that have an effect?
Yes, sir.
Okay, unless you were the person who actually said that and knew what they meant by tried to pull him out, you don't really know, right?
No, I wouldn't know unless somebody said he tried to do so, yes, sir.
In fact, it could be that you thought about trying to take somebody out of the car, went around, touched them on the leg, and then panicked and pulled your hand away, right?
Well, that's certainly possible, yes, sir.
Because you wouldn't know unless you were the person who made the statement.
That's right, sir.
Now, I want to talk to you about the position of the body. Has anybody, in talking about your opinions about how the body was positioned in the car? Well, hang on, let me stop you right there. Has anybody told you that there's been testimony about that when they saw the body after the accident, the head was down on the floorboard with face down, with the legs folded up over the top?
Well, yes, I know that particular position for some time now. Yes, he was face down inside.
Wedged in
Yes,
into
sir.
the floorboard.
Yes, sir.
Right, between the seat and the dash.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Isn't it true that if someone is wedged into a tight place such that there is compression on their chest and their abdomen, there's a phenomenon called positional asphyxia that can cause physical problems?
Yes, certainly.
And in certain cases, it can even cause death, correct?
That's true, sir.
And even if it's not so bad as to cause death, it could certainly contribute to death.
It's certainly possible, yes.
Now, you testified already, I believe, that Mr. Biggs could not move either of his legs, correct?
I don't think I've testified to that effect, sir, but
Could he have moved either of his legs?
could he have moved either of his legs?
Yes.
Well, obviously his left lower extremity was fractured. He had a fracture of the right lower extremity and right thigh. But he was neurologically intact as far as his right lower extremity was concerned. So theoretically he could move it, certainly with pain, but he would probably guard it and probably didn't want to do that, but he could do it if he wanted to do it.
Okay. What about which arm is it that's broken?
The right arm, sir.
The right arm. Could he have moved his right arm?
Again, there was no evidence to suggest that he had any neurological damage to his right arm. So yes, he could move his arm with severe pain, but he probably wouldn't want to do it, probably guard it.
Okay. Now, you testified that the survival range, and you started talking about people who stepped on landmines and all kinds of other stuff. Isn't it true that in your medical opinion, Mr. Biggs probably survived a couple of hours?
I think so, yes. I would say
Okay.
a couple of hours or so, sir.
Could have been as little as 30 minutes, but you doubt it.
Yes, sir.
Could have been more than a couple of hours, but you doubt it.
I don't really doubt it, but I would say that it's less likely because of the severity of the injury.
Okay. And certainly any positional asphyxia that he might have had could have contributed to the time he survived.
Yes, there is a possibility there, but I'm not at all sure that that's what really transpired here.
Now, you testified that he could certainly moan and groan.
Well, he was known to moan and groan, yes, sir.
Okay. And that was certainly physically possible given his condition.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You said that he could have been physically capable of talking, but you don't know.
That's right, sir.
So there's no scientific or medical way to say for sure if he could talk or couldn't talk.
There's no reason why he couldn't. Obviously, the fact that we have evidence to suggest that he was moaning and groaning implied that he could vocalize, maybe not in the fashion that is clear, but he certainly was doing that.
Certainly having compression on his chest and abdomen would impact his ability to be able to talk.
It could create some problems, yes.
Okay. Now, doctor, in your experience, as someone who's been trained how to do CPR, are they as qualified to take care of someone with traumatic injury as an EMT or a doctor?
No, they're less qualified, sir.
Now, I want to talk to you about the cause of death determination. You said you ruled it a homicide.
Yes, sir.
And homicide, just so we're clear, that includes murder.
Yes, sir.
But it also includes recklessly causing the death of somebody, which is manslaughter.
Yes, sir.
And it also includes causing someone's death by criminal negligence, which is criminally negligent homicide.
Yes, sir.
And I think you mentioned it also includes self-defense, justifiable homicide.
Yes, sir.
Okay. The last thing I want to make sure I heard you correctly. You said that taking him to the garage contributed to his death in the sense that he didn't get help, correct?
Yes, that certainly, I mentioned that.
Because ultimately, what caused Mr. Biggs' death was not getting someone there to take care of him.
Yes, failure to provide medical help.
And if Mr. Biggs, strike that. No further questions, Your Honor.
Just a few, Your Honor. Dr. Perwani, have you met with defense counsel and talked about your testimony before
Yes,
you were
sir.
here today?
Yes, sir.
On how many occasions did you do that?
I met with the two counselors once, and then with the lead counselor the second time he came to my office. So I met them twice, sir.
Okay. They have access to your photos and your findings and your records?
Yes,
Okay.
as a matter of fact, I gave him a copy of one of the diagrams he didn't have in his possession, sir.
Okay, thank you. You were asked a question about positional asphyxia. And you said that, I think if I understood you indicated that you had some doubts about whether that was involved or weren't sure, but I don't think you got to finish your answer. What do you think about that? There was positional asphyxia that was involved here.
In positional asphyxia, what we basically imply is that the person is compromised in such a fashion that he or she cannot breathe anymore. It could be that there's a compression of his chest wall. Frequently, we see evidence to suggest a position of asphyxia. We see a tremendous facial plethora or darkening of the face. We see petechiae, pinpoint hemorrhage.
Let me just stop. I just want to make sure I get these. So what, if the first thing you said was facial what?
Plethora.
And in terms I can understand, what does facial plethora mean?
It is really severe congestion of the face.
So what would it look like?
It looks dark blue in color.
Okay. Was that the way Mr. Biggs' face looked?
No, he does have lividity, but it doesn't look like he has facial plethora.
Okay. What is the next thing you would find if that was involved?
Frequently, we see fine pinpoint hemorrhages of the face, of the mucous membranes, of the eyeballs. But perhaps very important is that we also see tremendous congestion of the brain, coverings of the brain, and these were all absent. So, in as much as that, there's possibility that he was trapped in the car in a position that he couldn't help himself. I don't think that this was the primary mechanism of death.
A moment, Your Honor.
You may.
Pass the witness.
Pass witness, Sean.
May this witness be excused.
And we passed the witness too. Good grief. That was awful. Absolutely awful. And I'm really confused now. Yeah, those pearls ain't fooling anyone. That guy said a couple of hours. I have to look farther into this because I'm very confused. Was it a couple of hours? Was it a couple of days? I don't know now. Everything I've read said 2 to 3 days, so now I don't know, and I'm confused. These two witnesses today have confused me. So tomorrow we will hear. There's some exhibits that they're going to admit. I'm just going to go through, get to where they show the car exhibits, and we'll watch those. I'm not going to show the whole thing of him just like exhibit 1 and whatever. And then we will hear from Brandon Biggs, who's the victim's son. He's on the stand for about 10 minutes. And then we will hear from the other medical examiner. So that will be tomorrow. And then on Thursday, we will do closing arguments, get to the verdict, but we won't be done with the case. I know you all think she's going to be innocent at this point, right? Sorry, bad joke. We'll do that on Thursday, and then we'll do the penalty phase next week. But she does testify during her penalty phase, and so I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see what she has to say. I'm thinking you might be right, Shenny. Also, maybe that's who walked through Carmen's door earlier. I don't know. But Carmen said a ghost opened her door. Yes. Sorry, I've been splitting the screen with Carmen, but yes. So, and the art. Yeah, doctor said survived a couple, maybe 3 hours. She says she talked to him for 2 or 3 days. So I don't know. I don't get it. Because the Cleet's testimony was like she called him that night. They went over there that night. They moved him. Like, I don't know. I was so confused by that. And then now this guy saying maybe, a few hours, not a few days. I have to look. I'll look tomorrow. I was wondering, that's my sister's name, and if you text her that time, she will be not happy, but she spells her with a Y. Her name with a Y. Thanks. My hair is very messy right now. I don't know. Like, I promise I've been like in a wind tunnel. True. I have no idea. I don't know. I guess the stuff she was on was messing with her head still. I don't know. But anyway, thanks for hanging out with me again tonight. Sorry that it went so long. I generally don't. That's Carmen's thing to do these big long streams. I will for sure be back tomorrow at 6 p.m. Eastern time. Hopefully Carmen's feeling better and she can join me again. I don't know how much longer I have that she'll be able to join me all the time. And that makes me sad and happy at the same time. Happy for her, sad for me. So like I said, we'll do the exhibits, Brandon Biggs, the son, and the other medical examiner. And Gabby, you will love this because the medical examiner is from Bexar County. It's Bexar. We all know it's pronounced Bear, but we call it Bexar. So when you hear us saying that, we're not being dumb. We know it's Bexar County, but we enjoy it being Bexar. And so that's why we call it that. But if you haven't already, please hit that like button on your way out and subscribe and all the YouTube stuff that helps me out. I appreciate it so much. And I will see you guys all tomorrow at 6 p.m. And until then, have a good night and be safe out there. Good grief, this crazy world right now. And I'll see you guys later.
Hot mannequin love is kinda uncanny. Click, like, subscribe, ooh, piece of candy. Looking for my spotlight, chasing my vibe. Still looking for my credibility online. Ooh, hot mannequin love, candy on the floor, don't pick it up. Chasing all the clicks, chasing all the views. Credibility's hiding, but I'm bringing you the news. Every little scroll is a mystery, but you stuck around, watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go. Every little scroll is a mystery, but you stuck around, watch the show with me. Laughs and chaos, that's how we roll. Drop a comment down below before you go. Hot mannequin love, candy on the floor, don't pick it up. Looking for my credit, but I'll take your